Good evening and welcome to Poker Night Live. My name's Michelle, your host for the evening. Tonight I'm joined by one of our resident experts, that's poker experts. Tonight it's James Browning again. Hello, James.
Hey, hi, Mish.
We've had a lot of you over the last few days.
Yes, well, I'll be disappearing again, so off on my travels. So.
Oh, where are you going this time?
Sweden.
Oh, Sweden.
Sweden, Stockholm.
Wonder why you're going there, James.
Poker.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that haven't watched the show before, we're going to be learning the game of Texas Hold'em. And we can watch all of our games on the internet as they're happening. There is a 5-10 minute delay, and we don't want our players to put TVs next to their computers and see each other's cards. That wouldn't be as fun. But it is a wonderful way to learn the game. James, our expert, will be commentating over all of the games that we watch and giving us his opinion on how he thinks the players are playing. Now, it is a completely interactive show, and that means we like to hear from you guys at home. It is an amateur night tonight, so it's great for the beginners, but we will be touching on things that you need to know if you've been playing for, say, up to 6 months, maybe even up to 12 months. So if you do know a bit about poker, do hang around. You may find you learn something. Also, you may be able to help us, because if somebody has a question, maybe you can answer it for us. If you do have any questions or comments, you can text them in to us. Here's the text. It's new, 84222. Got that, James?
Yeah, got it.
84222.
It's quite catchy, isn't it?
It's very catchy. And you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And while we go to a break, do remember to visit us on the web, www.pokernightlive.co.uk. There's a wonderful forum up there, so if you do want to discuss anything in particular about poker, do make sure you have a look at that. Now, as I said, we're going to be watching Texas Hold'em. We're going to be doing that by watching tournaments, cash games, and all through the night we'll be touching on our multi-table tournament as well. We have a quick look at all of the different tables we're going to be watching tonight. James, that's your area.
Okie doke, let's have a look.
You can be in charge of this part if you like.
Jolly good. And there we are. We have a $5 sit and go. And now we've got a $20 sit and go. First level.
Gets the queens.
Yes. Pocket queens there. Very nice to get that early on. Followed by a 25-cent, 50-cent cash game. Not quite as big as we had last night. We had a $100, $200 no limit heads-up game, Michelle.
Wow.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah.
And there we have green, which means multi-table tournament time. And there's 121 people entered that tournament tonight, and we will be revisiting that at regular intervals and looking forward to a final with a lot of play in it.
And we'll be definitely watching that final table tournament at the end of the night as well. I'm going to be playing in a tournament again at 11.
Yeah,
I didn't do very well last time. So all the things that I did wrong, I'm going to make sure that I put into play tonight.
And I've been questioning Michelle in the break. I've asked her, does she remember them? She's done very well. She's got her little guidelines in her head.
I do.
And I'm expecting a scintillating performance tonight.
It's the pressure of live TV.
And I feel that Michelle's going to make it into the money. There you go.
Oh, just no pressure then. It's fine.
No, I'm confident in you.
Before we go to our first game, we did have an email from Darren Jones from Essex, who says that he's looking forward to an evening of learning poker. He's relaxing because apparently he's a kickboxer and he's up against a pretty formidable opponent tomorrow, and he's a bit scared.
Oh.
So I hope that goes well for you tomorrow, and don't be scared. I'm sure you'll be fine. And enjoy learning the game. Right, what do you fancy to start with, James?
Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll have a quick look at the MTT to see how that's kicked off.
That sounds like a plan. Let's head over to the
Let's
MTT,
go to the green.
Multi-table tournament.
Well, we started with 121, and we're down to 91 runners now.
Okay.
That's over 7 tables.
7 tables of players, but they're all playing in the same game.
And the average chips now is about 1,995.
What was that?
The average chips now is 1,995. They started with 1,500.
Right. So Naming 6 there is a bit under the average, as is Stunters. And
That's
clean
right.
and quite tight.
Hoik is doing well. He was playing last night.
So, the multi-table tournament, the structure of the game is exactly the same as a sit and go, except there's just more people. over more tables. And as people are knocked out,
Right,
the
what do you
tables
mean
are
the structure's
condensed.
exactly the same? Sorry, that's a little bit
As in you have a
vague.
beginning and an end,
A beginning and end, okay. That
rather than a cash game, which is continuous.
Okay, fair enough. Because the structure we also relate to the levels, and the levels are obviously slightly different. Because the levels to a sit and go are obviously going to be far more aggressive increase than you will get on a multi-table tournament. So that's part of the structure. So just to make that clear for people. So now we're at the 25-50, and in fact that's not a level, we don't even get that on a sit and go, do we? Because it goes 10-20 and 20-40.
Right, so yeah, so we start off at 10-20 on these multi-table tournaments. Blinds. And then we work our way up. Is there a time limit between each level?
Yes, it's 12 minutes. Every 12 minutes the blinds go up.
Okay, well let's have a look at one of the other tables involved in our multi-table tournament. I think we've got Tragic Trev. One of our regulars. There he is. Oh, there he's not. Shell My Bell is there though, look.
There's Tragic Trev. He's just in that green square he is.
He's gone.
Just disappearing into the ether.
Right, so...
Oh, he's back!
Oh, there he is.
Tragic Trev.
How's he doing? 1,890, so roughly about average then.
He was hiding. I think he put a green hat on or something so we couldn't see him. Okay, there's 50 called by Will, and we've had a raise here from Ostafan. Up to 100.
H2O Stephen.
Yes.
I think you're fine. Well, what's going on, James? For those that haven't played before, explain exactly what's happening here.
Right, just let's finish his hand, though. This raise has been called by Golden Jaguar, the 100, with Queen 8. That's quite adventurous. And Will's kept joined in the fun as well.
10 Jack, Queen King Ace, that's nice.
What a flop for the King Queen.
Nice little straight for H2O.
Broadway, the top straight. And he's just wondering how to get paid. He's also even got the Queen of Spades in his mitt.
Well, he decided to make the bet. I suppose he doesn't want any flush draws to get a free card.
He was worried about the flush draw, probably. I mean, could have been tempting to slow play it because he has got a Queen of Spades in his hand. It was going to be one less out for anyone who wasn't a flush draw.
Yeah.
And maybe could have disguised the fact that he had the straight and found a way to get a bit more money out of it. Still, you'd be happy enough he got off to a reasonable start. I think I maybe would have attempted to get a little bit more money out of that one. Okay, what happens is it all starts from the dealer's button, which is the white button, near Tavius there, with the D on it. That's the dealer's button. To the left of the dealer is the small blind. That's where Golden Jaguar was, and the big blind, where Shell My Bell. Is that named after you?
I would hope so, because it's always nice.
So, and then all the action takes place clockwise after the blinds. And in this case, the big blind is Magic Rat. So it's up to Will, who can either call, fold, or raise.
So he's decided to raise with an ace-9 under the gun.
He certainly has, and now it's up to Tragic Trev. And Alva Vegas rather, can call, fold, or raise. He's decided to fold.
Can I ask what you think of that raise from Will under the gun with the ace-9?
I think it's very adventurous.
Yeah?
He is a little bit short on chips, and I think he's just deciding he's going to try and do something about it.
Would it not have been better for him to push more? I mean, it's worked for him. It seems to have worked for him this time.
Yes, it's a strange play. I don't know quite how this play... If this table's been very tight, then maybe he thinks he can get away with it. It was a little bit of a strange play, I think. Tavius says no, Golden Jaguar.
So we're looking for the best 5-card hand.
Yeah, the reason why it's a strange play with that ace-9 was because it's a hard hand to really get a flop you like. Suppose he wants a 9-high flop.
And he put in 200 and he had about 800, so he's put in a quarter of his stack. And if he did get called and then missed, he would then have problems.
Yes, knowing what to do, yeah.
I mean, actually, the reason as well why I picked up on that was because that's one thing that I remember you saying to me was if you do come in early, you have no idea what people behind you are going to do. For all you know, someone's sitting there with a great hand, they're going to push all in, and if you've put it to 200 when you're already low, it's always better to be the one to push, be the aggressor.
Yes, that's right.
Rather
Because
than having to
once
make
you got low
decisions.
stacks, you can't really afford to be having a look at flops or even having the small raises because you just haven't got enough chips to do this with. If you've got a huge stack,
You can.
the huge stack can sometimes do a small raise because they say, well, if you mess with me, I've got all these chips anyway. You never know what I'll bet next. It might be a big bet. So they've got a bit of fear factor because they've got a good backup. But if you're the short stack, you put in your tiddly little raise, and you don't have much chips to back it up either. Not as scary and more likely to get you into trouble. Okay, no one's connected with the flop, but tragic Trev, what a move here. Look at this.
It's gone all in with a backdoor straight draw.
I just realised what you said there.
Backdoor, gut shot draw even.
No, it's a backdoor straight draw. You can go runner straight. Unbelievable. What a move by Trev. He read it that he could get away with it. Very adventurous. Now, Tavius has got a respectable hand. He's made it 300.
Okay, so under the gun there again, to the left by under the gun. We mean to the left of the big blind. He's
That's
got
right.
ace
Well,
queen, so you need to be, because you need
The
to be picky.
immediate left of the big
The
blind is
immediate
under,
left.
is under the gun. Isn't it?
Now, you have to be slightly picky with the hands you choose to play with here, don't you? Because you're in early position.
Wow, could he pick better than that?
Wow.
Look at that.
I don't think he's going to get
flopped the
paid,
flush.
though.
Incredible.
Not going to get any money out of Shell My Bell, I don't think.
Well, he
Ooh,
might
He
now.
might now.
He might now. He's going to check again, isn't he?
Yes, but he has the nuts, doesn't he?
He's going to check again. He has checked, and there's Shell My Bell. Is going to have a little tickle at this.
Oh, how
'cause
much?
Doesn't
Oh, no. That's so unfortunate for Shell My
well,
Bell.
no, it's not unfortunate. It's just it's a huge overbet, isn't it?
It's a huge bet.
Well, it
Did
just
he need to
decided.
do it at that point?
Just decided one thing there. Decided that Tavius might have been on a flush draw and didn't want him to get it, I suppose. But,
Okay, this is really good to watch actually, because we've spoken about these bets before. Now, what was he hoping from that bet? I mean, I know he was hoping to push him off, but he's only going to get called by someone that's beating him.
Yes, he had one thought in mind. His one thought in mind was that his opponent was on had one heart and was on a flush draw. He had the top pair, so he decided, that's it. I'm pushing all in. I'm going to make it impossible for you to call it. So, I mean, he's unfortunate that he's found someone who has
Slow playing the nuts.
who has flopped the flush. The only little thing, if you look back on the storyline, and if we look back on the storyline, Tavius had raised under the gun.
Yeah.
So what does that imply?
He's got high cards at least.
Yeah. The flops come over, and Tavius is checked. Well, often people who raise under the gun, even if they haven't got it, make a continuation bet or something.
Yeah.
So, and if he did have one heart, wouldn't he have bet anyway?
Yeah, he probably, if he was chasing
Suppose
the
he had the ace of hearts and something else, ace of hearts, queen of clubs,
especially as he'd also checked
and he had
with his
two
king-
overcards
king
and a flush
jack.
draw, wouldn't he have bet anyway?
Yeah.
He would have done, wouldn't he? So what on earth was that bet about? Because therefore you could say, hang on, that's a bit smelly, this guy's done nothing. So either he's got nothing, in which case you don't need to bet so much, or he's got an awful lot, in which case you're in trouble. So if we look back on that...
It's wonderful to look at it like that, isn't it? You really have to take these things into
Do you
account.
see how we pulled that apart?
Yeah. So if he'd sat there and thought about that hand logically like you just did, he never would have made
You
that
can't
bet.
make that bet, no.
Wow. I mean, fair enough, you do have a time limit, but if you're thinking about these things as you're playing...
Also, the thing that he's got king jack, it's possible his opponent then could have even checked with ace jack.
Yeah.
Possible. But I'm just saying that's a way to pull that story down. So I think he probably made a right. You know, he saw the jack, just had one thought in his mind and hit the all-in button, and that was it. Still, you have to be thinking. You have to try and we've got to be like it's like Cluedo. You've got to look at all the little. You got to look at all the clues and try and put it all together. You quite liked that one, didn't you, Michelle? The one when we looked at that hand, though. You quite liked pulling that hand together.
Yeah, no, it really... When you look at it like that, because you do forget to think about these things. I've done it many a time. I've made a bet, and then I've thought, why am I so stupid? If I'd thought about that, I never would have done that.
We've got to use the information which has been given to us. We've got to look and think. We've got to work out why. We've got to look at the storyline.
And see, us women, we're good at multitasking. We can do one thing and do another.
Yeah.
So we should be good at these things. I can present on TV and I can play in a play in a game, which in a poker tournament, which I'm not going to lose.
And chew gum at the same time.
Chew gum, send texts? Not really. See, men, you can't multitask. As well as us women.
Having said that, when I saw these young Americans playing on their laptops, goodness knows how many games at once.
20 games at once,
exactly.
Yeah.
That was multitasking to a great extent.
Okay, so tournament situation. So our players are playing it to the death. Once the chips have gone, that's it. They've had it.
Oh.
As Start Under takes out Tragic Trev.
Oh dear, Tragic Trev's gone this time. He had a pair of sevens, and Start Under had the over pair, which was a pair of jacks. I'd fallen in love with the fact that they believed that no one had the king, but of course didn't consider that someone might have an over pair.
Well,
okay.
The multi-table tournament, we've spoken about this a lot because there's the multi-table tournament for the Poker Night Live watchers actually, which is on a Monday.
Yeah, we had that last night.
Yes, I'm going to play in it next Monday.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that actually. Are you on next Monday?
No, I'm not. I'll be in Sweden.
Oh, I wonder who it is. Yes, but I'm going to play in that on Monday. Now, multi-table tournaments, we are going to be watching sit and go tournaments throughout the night as well. How can you adapt your play between the two? Because it's obviously it's the same game, but like you were saying earlier, the structure is very different, so...
Well, the multi-table tournament has a lot more play in it than a sit and go tournament has. In fact, it's one of the little discussions we've been having on the forum recently, because the thing is, with the sit and goes, the structure is very fast.
Yeah.
And what's been happening is we've been getting people playing pretty tightly to start with, and this has of course caused like a bit of a pile up because it's virtually, and the one I played last night, we got to the 5th level, 163.20, and we still had 7 people left.
Wow.
Well, that's bizarre.
Well, usually you've already lost maybe
quite
3 or even 4 by then.
But we're at 105th level, still got 7 people left. So basically, lots of players there are under pressure because they don't have too much playing. So
does it become a bit of a crapshoot then as well?
It does. But, or you've got to make a judgment when to make a play, etc., etc. Yes, it does. But it doesn't always work out like that. And there will be cases where hands meet at hands and there'll be head-on collisions and the field will get thinned out. It will vary. But recently on the Beat the Presenter, I must admit, no one wants to get knocked out first. So we have been getting this sort of like jamming effect.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens tonight.
I'll try my best tonight and see if we can do better. Right, we're going to head over to a $20 sit and go tournament. So let's head over there.
I only managed 5th last night, I'm afraid, Michelle.
Did you?
So you've got, I'm sure you can do better than me tonight.
Well, I was 5th, wasn't I, the night before?
Yeah, I expect you to do better than me, though, tonight. I'll be rooting for you, though. There's no, no rivalry. I'm rooting for you to do well.
I'm not going to chat. I'm going to really think about what I'm doing.
Okay, here we are. Sit and go time. Just lost one of the top players, Johan Harren, who, what was he doing? 6-2 off suit. He's up. All right. He must have lost a big hand before that, because I can't imagine all his chips going with that. It had no connection with that flop whatsoever. Excuse my coughing.
That's perfectly
well,
okay.
Amazing.
Okay, so this is a sit and go. It's still a tournament. It's a tournament, and we did just watch the multi-table tournament. This is only one table with 8 players.
That's right. They all start with 1,000 chips. And the blinds start at 10, 20. And the blinds, where it's different to the other tournament, because the blinds go up every 12 minutes, here the blinds go up every 10 hands.
Ace 10 for our Monty, Cat Attack, Crazy Gum, Charwell, What's Up, What's Pup, 888 and Pot and Pan.
And Monty has made it 80, 4 times the big blind. It comes to Chantel, Essex Knight.
Yes, I do come from Essex.
Yes.
But you would never be able to tell, would you?
Never.
Come from the posh end of Essex. You're a Geordie, aren't you?
I am. I much prefer you to Chantel, I can tell you that now.
Thanks, I think.
Well, no, thanks, definitely. I mean, I much prefer you to Chantel. No contest.
Ooh, I'm sure I just saw a pair of 9s in What's Pup's hand, and it looks like he just folded them. Just folded them, which is very odd. Maybe I got that wrong. Okay, so we see the button on Crazy Gum, Pot and Pan on the small blind, 888 on the big blind. You can see it moves in a clockwise directions. All bets have to be even before we move on. You can raise at any time, but you can't raise yourself. See, our Monty's here is putting 80. So if Pot and Pan and 888 want to stay in, they have to match that 80. If 888 decides to match the 80, our Monty can't then raise again. He can't raise himself, can he, James? 888 still thinking, no, he decides not to make it 80, so he folds and our Monty wins. Simple as that.
Easy money.
Easy peasy, that's how you play.
Okay. Not too many hands out there. Let's see what happens in late position. Late position would be obviously on the button would be the latest position we're referring to, and the one before that, Crazy Gum, that's called the cutoff. So that would be late position. And there we are. Late position is where some action took place, as I sort of indicated it might. And Crazy Gum has raised to 120. Notice the blinds now are 20-40, and he's put in a raise of 3 times the big blind, which is a sort of a standard raise, and he takes down the blinds. Keeps himself jogging along.
So they all started with 1,000 chips. This is a $20 tourney, so they all pay $20.
They've lost
for
a player, so the
1,000.
average now is 1,142.
How do you work that out so quickly?
Well, just divided by the 7 players left, because we know they started with 1,000 each, so there's 88,000 chips. So just to give ourselves an idea of what the average is. So it's no panic time, you see. Just you've lost a player. If you've got about, say, Monty's head, about 1,100, that's fine. Cat Attack, we see, is in good shape.
Yeah, 2,000. He must have taken out whoever it was in seat 2.
Yes, he did, yeah. He probably did, anyway. He probably took the lion's share of his chips. I think it was Watts Pup finished him off, but Cat Attack probably got most of Johan Harren's chips, I would suspect. My
dad ended up going out first in a tourney yesterday by mistake because he had 2 pair and he ended up all in.
Yes.
And the other guy had trips.
Well, that's like a head-on collision. I mean, that's not, you know, one can't sort of beat oneself up too much about that. At least he had, it wasn't just the 1 pair syndrome, at least he had 2 pair, but he run up against
there was
trips.
no flush or straight there.
Very difficult, very difficult. Did he flop the 2 pair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no flush or straight. There wasn't even a flush draw there.
Did he have, which pairs did he have?
I can't remember. I think it was...
did he have top 2 pair or? That's even
I think it was either top 2 pair or top pair and bottom pair type thing.
Okay, big difference. I mean, not when you were running against trips, but a big difference because bottom 2 pair, for example, are quite vulnerable.
Well, a big raise here from Charwell and the 6s. He might get a caller from the ace-10 on the big blind. Even though Crazy Gum won't have position on Charwell. No, decides not to get involved. Doesn't like that one. That's fair enough. I mean, this is, especially in a tournament, most of your game is going to be deciding and making decisions pre-flop, because there's a lot of action pre-flop in these tournaments, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Because basically you just don't have such big stacks to, you know, the blinds are getting it up there quite quickly, and you just don't have so much play. But you just got to consider, you know, look for opportunities basically. Pick up any tells about the players if they look like they're passing, or if you think it's a good spot to have a bet, and take advantage of that. Monty there is raised. It made the better hand pass from Crazy Gum. So the blinds are now up to 40-80.
Still 7 people left.
Yep. What's Pup had King 8. Charwell, A7 on the small blind. He raises it, makes it 200. Up to Monty. Would cost him 120 to call. He declines. Pot and Pan to decide with his Jack 9. Says no.
Not much here. Charwell, hasn't got many chips compared to the others, so it'd be quite difficult for him to go for a steal. Very difficult when you're low chipped, isn't it?
Right, he's got position, but he's just flat called, and that's worked out quite well for him because he's got the extra money in from the small blind, and Cat Attack didn't do anything, and so now Charwell's got position. Cat Attack checks. Now Charwell possibly could put in a little bet. He does. That's a little bit small, I think. Could have probably made it about 120. Would have been quite nice, but anyway, it did the job.
Yep.
So therefore, he gained by limping because he had position. And he used the position to take the pot down. Pot and Pan with King, Queen under the gun. Blinds 81-60. And being raised and being called by the Ace-Jack.
So we've got King, Queen, Ace-Jack situation.
The Queen's hit the flop.
Gut shot.
Ace-Jack needs a king, that's right, gut shot king. But Pot and Pan had one of the kings as a defence mechanism. There were only 3 around for 888, and they didn't appear.
Well, we've lost another one, another casualty.
Another one bites the dust.
Then there were 6. Oh, we've got something exciting coming up, James.
Yep.
Pre-flop folds.
Pre-flop folds, that's what we want to see. There we are, a raise from Monty up to 320 and a re-raise from Cat Attack with the pair of 10s. And the pair of 10s in good shape against the Ace-8, of course, because the Ace-8 only has the 1 over card.
Here we go. Here come the pre-flop folds.
It's pre-flop fold time.
Ooh, I like the green. It's
Yes,
like an army green.
It's like...
Oh, there's queens. Let's have a look at those for Crazy Gum. He's all in. But he's not against aces like I was. It's my queens. He takes down the blinds. Now, at this point, when the blinds are 81-60, you really have to start stealing, don't you?
Well, you're at that level because a round is going to cost you 240. You only started with 1,000 chips. So therefore, look at this. A lot of these players are under pressure already. That's what I'm saying, the makeup of these when you don't lose too many players.
Well, our Monty's come across a nice hand here.
He has, but he should have just pushed it all in. I mean, it's the same thing. I suppose they just realised he was going to put it in because he's keeping 390 back. It was obviously an all-in play. Cat Attack A6, he doesn't have to do anything there. Pot and Pan.
Okay, we've got an ace queen in early position here.
Small blind. Can't get earlier than that.
Well, you can't, can you, James?
Charwell raised it up from late position, but the ace queen says, I'm going to have a look at that.
Only the 8 will help him. Unless no, only the 8.
And there we go.
So we missed another one.
Oh no, it's a split pot.
Oh, was it?
Yes. 2 pairs on the flop, so it was jacks and 7s with an ace.
Of course.
Split pot. Good escape for Charwell there.
King, queen, he probably push here, will he not?
Although well, I think depends
Ken,
what.
what's Putt puts down his 9s again? What do you think of that?
He did because there was a raise ahead of him.
Pot and pan raised.
So
he's probably thinking he's raising with high cards and his 9s are all.
Or a higher pair or high cards. He decided that he'd save. Wait for a chance to bet himself, I presume, is his thinking. Charwell's pushed again. He's determined to either pick up chips or double up, and he's picked up some chips. So it's good aggressive play by Charwell. He needed to do it, and I like his style there. It's good.
What do you think of these things like 8-9 suited? I mean, early position, obviously you can put it down, but are there type of hands that you might limit in with?
Not in this. I mean, listen, if you need to bet, you can. It's not too bad, but I mean, it's just basically, it's a sort of hand which would play better in the early stages of a multi-table tournament where maybe you could limp in with it. It could be a very nice hand there. You can get away from it if it's no good, and maybe win a big pot if you connect. But in these latter stages where you haven't got much time, really high cards are going to rule more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got time to look at flops. You haven't got enough chips. You can't put 160 in just to have a look when you've only got 1,000 chips.
Yeah.
It's no good. And you don't want to be playing drawing hands particularly. However, if the needs were there and I had to make a bet and just even had to push all in, I might push all in with 8-9 suited. It doesn't, suited connectors don't play that badly against some of the hands. I'd probably be hoping to steal, and if it went wrong, I think I've still got some chances anyway.
Still 6 players left. Blinds 163.20. So starting to become quite expensive each round. And
as I said, now each round costs 480, so people here are under tremendous pressure. And there we go, Crazy Gums just got to push it in with King 4, and he's right to do so. No other choice.
Can't really get a call here from the Queen 2.
Well, he did well.
Ooh, okay, this is going to be interesting. Charwell's going to end up all in against Monty, I'm assuming.
Yes. Charwell's all in, no danger. Monty's going to re-raise all in.
And Castattack should be able to get away from it. Well, they're saying that it's not going to cost Castattack that much more, is it?
Yeah, but he surely knows that other 440 of Monty's is going to go in.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't just consider it's that little bit of money he's going to make up. You realise that other 440's there as well. And the fact that Monty didn't raise should make Castattack a little bit suspicious. And it has done. Because he knew that was prepared to go in as well.
Needs a queen.
There's no queen, so it's kings and 6s for Monty. And we lose another player. We're down to 5. This is where the pair of us exited last time out.
Yes, it was.
Rotten 5th place.
How did you go out? What was your situation? What did you end up all in with?
I had an interesting situation, actually. I wrote a little bit about it on the forum. I actually was lowish in chips. I was in late position. I pushed all in with Jack 10. I knew that there wasn't much fold equity because the small blind, the big blind was more or less obliged to call. The small blind had half as many chips as me. He was more or less obliged to call. But I realised that the Jack 10 would play quite well against 2 people. Also, there was another added scenario that because I had, the small blind only had half the amount of chips I had.
Yeah.
It's possible there could be some situations there where he might win, but then I might win the side pot.
Oh, right, okay.
And still end up with making a small profit. So therefore, I'd have won the hand in this situation with the people who called. I'd have won it 35% of the time, won everything. but about 46% of the time I'd have either won or won the side pot.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, altogether, that made an interesting situation, and that's why I took that opportunity. And the times I scooped the lot, of course, it would take me well above average chips,
Yeah.
and now have a chance in the tournament and still be in late-ish position. So that's why I went for that move.
Okay, excellent. So you need these. Do you need to be thinking along those?
Yes,
types
so that
of
was
lines
quite. I've written about it on the forum, so if you want to have a look at it, you can have a look at it. That is slightly more complicated than people might think, but there was definitely. I've looked at it quite closely. There was definitely equity in the play.
Oh, as Queen Jack puts down, gets the Queen King to put down to fold.
A lot of times, if you're making a push and you think, oh, the guy's never going to fold here, and I haven't got such a good hand, it's often not right to push because you haven't got any fold equity, because you like to have the chance that they can fold. But this time was slightly twisted because of the extra money going in the pot when I did need to get some chips anyway. And as I said, the two different sizes of the stacks. So that was a slight different slant. Right, let's keep our eyes on what's going on here. What's pup is down to 760. Monty makes it 640.
And that's all we needed to do to seal. Right, so what's pup has some work to do here. He was hoping, obviously, I think, for a hand before he hit the blinds, but with 7-5 he can't do anything with it, can he? Like, he doesn't have fold equity, really, against those blinds.
No, not much anyway. Because the big blind has got 3. As it happens, the big blind might have folded, funny enough, for the extra 440, but it's unusual. And as it happens, the small blind wouldn't have, so.
Ace Jack pushes. Pot and pan can put it down.
What's up praying for a hand now? It's his big blind. What's he got in the raffle?
Well, could be
Well,
worse.
The rest of it should go in here. He should play it.
Yeah.
He
There's no
should
point
play
in
it.
waiting for the small blind, is there? He might hit 3 diamonds.
Well,
he might
heads up
hit
here, he's got virtually a 40% chance, I would think.
Well, 2, 3, 4. Back door straight. Oh, he's hit his 3. He's now ahead.
Yeah.
And he takes it. Excellent.
There we go. Yes,
there
he had
go.
to play it, as I said. He had enough money in the pot to.
And he's back up there now. He
Yeah.
can relax a little bit now.
Well, not relax, I don't think. There's not much relaxing at these the speed of this game, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, he actually had 37% chance there. 3-4 of diamonds against King, Queen of Hearts. So he was definitely right to call. In fact, he even had about 0.75% chance he would end up a tie.
Well, blinds are 3, 26, 40. Still 5 people in the game here. Which is, people are hanging on in.
Hang on in there.
It would be so good if you could see other people's cards while you're playing. It wouldn't be fair, obviously, but... Well, it's the theorem of poker. If you play the hand as you would if you could see the cards, then you're playing correctly.
Michelle's been a good girl. She's been reading. She's been studying. She's been reading through Slansky's Theory of Poker.
Yes, about halfway through. Very interesting. As the king takes it. King, queen, all in. Ace, queen will call. And king, queen's behind.
Oops.
He's got 10 left though, Cato.
Pot and pan's in there as well. Pot and pan's hit the 6. But
Ooh,
what's
flush
upset the
draw.
ace? But pot and pan's got a
Oh,
flush
he
draw and
gets
he's got the
flush.
flush. The full 6 of hearts has got a flush. And look at that.
Wow.
Top straight there for Cat Attack with the jack. Pot and Pan made the flush. And the one who was leading on the flop, out of the tourney.
How come Cat Attack got money back there? How
He
did
had
that
the top
work?
straight.
Top straight.
Which beat the other one's ace.
I missed the top straight there.
Yeah. Yes, he had ace, king, queen, jack, 10. The jack came on the river, giving him the top straight. Pot and Pan now had the flush. He had the 6-4 of hearts. And other one there had the ace, but of course got overtaken by 2 players and had to exit in 5th place. Well,
we don't like 5th place, do we,
James? We don't like 5th place. We don't like 4th much either, though. So, and I'm sure the people here won't like 4th because they get nothing for it. It's the bubble. Monty for queen. Cat Attack says no. Crazy Gum, 5 king. Wow. Thought he might have used his muscle there a bit. But mind you, they were similar. He didn't want to get in touch with someone similar stack, I think. Okay.
It's a horrible time to play when you're in the bubble situation because you know you could quite easily still go with no money.
Well, here we go. I think it's going to be contested now because Monty, I think, is going to have to put in the rest of this 370 chips.
Crazy Gum and Pot and Pan loving this.
Oh, that is a terrible
Ooh.
pass. That is a terrible pass. It only cost him 370 there.
He's lucky he's got an ace, but...
No, he's not lucky. It was terrible. It's 370. He was getting massive odds there.
Well, no, it's a bad play, but he's lucky now that he's got a hand he can push in with.
That's irrelevant, Michelle. Just his play was what we've got to look at, and it was awful pass. He only cost him 370 to call. There was so much money in the middle. He just turned down. And
is this maybe because it's the bubble situation?
Yeah, but it's just awful. You just can't... He still had money left. He could have played it and lost and still have a dog's chance with the chips he had left.
Yeah.
So he could have had all the money which was in front of Cat Attack before this hand.
And now he goes out. Bubbled it.
So you got, I mean... Monty, that pass before for the 370 was, I'm sorry to say, was shocking. Yes, he'd made a bet anyway. Mm-hmm. If he thought the thing was clear enough to make a bet with, it must be clear enough to call the remaining 370 with.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even committed all in. So he had the dog's chance with whatever chips he had left. He's not dead. And there was so much money in the middle. There was something like about 1,900 in the middle. So therefore... he's getting huge odds.
Oh, his Pot and Pan goes out third. Takes 20% of the winnings.
Goodness, he was getting about 5 to 1 or something. I mean, it was just I'm sorry, Monty, to go on about it, but we've got to stress it for other people's sake. That was actually a very, very bad pass. Sorry, mate. But if you learn from it as well, you just can't do that.
He will have a go at you, Monty. He does me.
Yeah, but only because I want you to get better. For no other reason. Only because I want you all to get better.
I feel a lecture again tonight after I sit and go again.
It's top straight for Crazy Gum. And that's enough. Ace, King, Queen, Jack, 10, Broadway. Takes the money. And first prize. Well done, Cat Attack for second. Well done, Crazy Gum for first.
There you have it.
Well, it was good.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the sit and go, lively, and we've actually seen something where we can learn from. And there's nothing better in poker than when you play and something happens. And even if you are the one who makes a mistake, the thing is, if you are the one who makes it, you won't ever forget it, which is brilliant. But if we make a mistake, we must learn from it. Mm-hmm. And every time we play, try and walk away from the game and say, what did I learn today? And if we do that, then we've all got a chance to get better and better at the game.
Well, I've spoken to Nick and Cass about this as well, and when they, as you know, they played in Vegas together for quite a few years, and they actually used to sit down to play at a table, and every hour or every 2 hours they would sit with a notepad and write down things about the people they'd been playing, about the play, about what happened, about what mistakes they'd made, and they would have a book and then they would look over them again that evening. Yeah. And that's what they needed to do to become to the level they are today. And I'm assuming you've done the same at points.
Still to this day, if I'm playing in a tournament, if I'm away playing in a tournament, if I'm playing in a cash game, and then I'm making my way home after the cash game, on the drive home, I'll be saying to myself, I'll be running through the night. I'll try and assess how I played. Did I play well? Did I make some horrible mistakes? Whatever. I'll go through it, and I'll take some key points of the night, and I'll just think through them, or some key hands, and I'll think through them, and make my judgment on if I was doing things well or not, and if I wasn't, learn from it.
Well, we have an email here from Dan River. He says, "Hey guys, great show. I've just finished third in a $5 sit and go, but disappointed on how I went out. The chip leader, who is on the button, is sitting on around 7k. The blinds are 320, 640, and he puts myself $1,060, small blind, and the other player $880 big blind, all in pre-flop. We are both short stacked due to some quick fire multiple knockouts by the chip leader 2 hands previously. Now, to put you in the picture, if I fold, I'm left with 740. Not a lot, I know, but in terms of survival for second place, I look at the big blind, who's also short stacked. And if he was to pass as well, he would only be left with 240, which would commit him in the next small blind. I think to myself, if I call my short stack, opponent will probably fold to hope for the knockout. I have sixes, so I painfully decide to fold, hoping the short stack calls and gets knocked out, or folds and is forced to play next hand with rubbish. He calls and wins ace 8 against chip leader's ace 7. The painful thing is that community comes 3, 6, 5, 2 jack, which would have given me trip sixes, 2k and almost guaranteed second place. I would really appreciate some feedback on this, because I would like to know, in your opinion, if you think my decision is a losing or winning move in the long run. Obviously, I would never normally let my stack get this desperate, but the quick multi-takeouts forced this. With this in mind, I would normally have pushed if I have had more chips and not been so desperate. Cheers again. Thank you for your email. It's a wonderful email, and it is a difficult situation. I can see where he's coming from here.
Right, but you've missed out one scenario here. You know, you've got more chips than the other guy. You're hoping that you'll pass, he'll play, he'll get knocked out. But you didn't mention another possible scenario, was that you call, he calls as well, and you both get knocked out. In which case, because you went in there with more chips than him, you would have got second prize. So there's another little bit of equity we've got to consider. Because of that, you don't know what the guy's going to do after you. Because of that, I think, and also because you're both desperate, because the blinds are 320, 640. So you've only got 700 odd. I think you've got a pair here. I'm afraid to say I think you've actually got to bite the bullet and push your chips in the middle. And you might be pleasantly surprised that your opponent, the other small stack, he puts his money in as well. In which case, if you both get knocked out, you get second prize. If you win it all, you get more chips. That's it. I mean, I think you have actually made an error, I'm afraid. Just trying to be too cute to get the money, but you didn't fully consider all the options.
We have this even in normal sit-and-go tournaments, and people are saying, oh, I've got a pair, but they hold back because they think if I don't play, he might play, and then he might get pushed out, and then I get...
Listen, there's some areas of the game where there are some great tactics. When you're playing a satellite tournament, a super satellite, where there are, say, 10 prizes or 10 seats into a further tournament, then it does become tactical. You don't always have to play hands you might normally play. But in this case, you have got to be ahead of probably more than just one player. There will be exceptions when it's just one player, but you normally need to be ahead of a few players, and you can play tactically. In this situation here, because you were both under so much pressure, and I think because of the thing I highlighted, you both might call anyway, and both might get knocked out, in which case you'll get the second anyway. You've missed an opportunity. You've got a pair, and you've only got very few chips left. Take advantage of it and get your chips in the middle. And as it happens, you'd have won everything. You know, you'd not won everything, but you'd have beaten either one opponent or two opponents.
Doubled up, at least. Well,
more than doubled up, yeah.
Doubled up. Okay, well, do remember, if you have any questions, it's 84222 on the text, or you can email them into us, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Make use of our expert while he's here. I do. And we're going to a break now. When we come back, I'll be playing in a sit-and-go tournament. And then in the third hour at 12 o'clock, you're going to be picking it apart.
Praising you to the hilt, hopefully.
Well, we're off to a break now, so don't go anywhere. And James and I will return very shortly. Bye for now, but we'll see you then.
Hi, and welcome back to Poker Night Live. The lovely Michelle is getting
I love that you call
herself...
me the lovely Michelle. That's always very nice.
Do you do like that? You just concentrate what you're doing, young lady. The lovely Michelle is just getting herself into a poker tourney, which we'll all have the pleasure of looking at later. Anyway, now we'll have a little look to see what's going on at the tables. And I think we'll revisit that multi-table tournament, which we had a look at the beginning of the night. Here we are, we're at the big stack table, and we can see Rith 78 has got 23,000. And how many players have we got left? We have in fact got 24 players left. We started with 121, so we've got 3 tables. In fact, I think, strange, we might even have 4 tables, because otherwise these seats would be filled, I think. It might be just about to go down to 3. We'll see what happens. There it is, it's just moved now. They were balancing the tables out before our very eyes. So we're 24 players, now we're down to 3 tables. We said before we started with 121 players. And the chip average now is 7,562. So that is our little guideline. So let's have a look what's happening here. The blinds are 200, 400. So each round costs us 600. So average chips has a lot of play, obviously. And in fact, everyone at this table, okay, we've got quite a few who are obviously below average, but they're still not quite panic level yet. It's not quite push and pray, but although they're getting close to it. We're referring to the people hovering around about the 4,000, 3,500, 4,000, of which there are a few. I apologise for this little cough. I've got a tickly throat, I'm afraid. Roses there's got trip jacks. And Bambi, having to consider the re-raise from Roses, only had a pair of 4s, considered it well and passed. PLC raises under the gun with ace jack. Rith, our chip leader, says no thanks. Crumble on the button. Crumbles and passes. Chad made up the bet with Queen Jack, and he's got fortunate because he was in bad shape before the flop. Queen Jack against Ace Jack, being dominated. However, has hit the Queen on the flop and has bet 1,200 into a pot of 1,800. PLC should put it down and does so. Don't get stubborn if you're the pre-flop raiser. Miss your flop and someone bets. Do not get stubborn. Blinds 200, 400. Bambi under the gun with Jack King. Kojak suited. Deliberating. Not many chips wondering. I don't like that. Limped under the gun for 400, and I don't think Bambi's really got enough chips to be limping. Has now been asked the question by Rith, who's made it 1,200, and there's Bambi with a problem. Has to put 800 into play with a bit of an iffy hand. But oh my goodness, has decided to re-raise all in. And this is a pretty horrible situation for Bambi. I'm sure Rith's going to call, does so. It's got him dominated. Ace King against King Jack. And I said I didn't like the play by Bambi. Limped in with Jack King, a substandard hand, and ended up losing all the chips in the pot where he really didn't need to. There we go. You heard it here first on PNL. I can inform you that Michelle has actually got into the game.
No, we're not started
Oh, you haven't
yet.
started the game? Oh, no.
I was just chatting.
Oh, Michelle's just chatting.
Do you need a hand?
No,
to
no, I
work?
don't. I'm fine. You just make sure you find your seat.
No, you just have to be quick with your fingers
You got to be quick with your fingers, yes.
to get yourself clicked in.
And Roses there with the middle pair, no club, and somehow pocket 3 stayed in there. No bet. And the 6s is going to, wow, be tested by Mopper, who took the risk, clicked the all-in button, and made the better hand pass. Well, he read his opponent well. The Chad in the cutoff, that's 1 off the button, decides not to play. We've got a proper hand there in the small blind from Roses, raises it up to 1200. And Rith, our chip leader, can't call that.
With the tens, you're quite happy to take it down pre-flop, aren't you? Because if you see any higher cards, and especially if someone's called a raise pre-flop, you always have to worry slightly.
Yes, in this one, though, it wasn't exactly the same because he was only against the big blind, and therefore it's not the end of the world playing heads up against someone with a pair of tens, because it's likely, even if they've got 2 big cards, they're 2-1 against hitting the flop anyway. So the tens is in good shape against heads up. When there's more people out there, there's too many people called, then you're going to be frightened of every overcard, and so it's difficult to play with.
Kings versus Jacks.
All right.
It's never nice.
So 2 pairs, Jacks and 9s against Kings and 9s for Chupa. Okay, King 10, doesn't want to know, and Crumble takes that one down. We'll be happy with that. Okay, not much of a hand there for the Chad. Rith is disappointed. Pair of 6s, does a flat raise. That's 400 with 400. Gets rid of the small blind, gets rid of the big blind. Thanks very much, not too much risk, and took the chips. Happy with that. Ooh, and look at Chupa. Chupa's picked up American Airlines in the small blind, sitting there with anticipation, and look at that, what a dream. Roses has put the raise in, made life easy for Chupa. Here we go. Fire, all in ski. And the King-Queen calls without any hesitation. Can't win. Chupa can't win on the turn. Chupa takes it down with a pair of aces. Didn't have to play it, all his work was done for him. Well, King-Queen ran into a big one there. If he just called with his King-Queen, it would have been raised and he could have got away from it. Because King-Queen rules the land of the unraised pot. The Chads, Jack-Queen, just makes up on the button.
Cool, Jack-Queen, Jack-King.
PLC, small, makes up the small, and has got an up and down straight, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the Rith has got a pair of 8s, plus a middle pin straight draw. Mopper's got a middle pin straight draw. And so is the Chad. And that 9's got to cause some damage because it gives the Chad 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. No, it's only 5 cards, obviously. It's 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. He's got the nut straight. Whereas Mopper's got a straight, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack. So lovely position for the Chads there. Well, we're whizzing through the matrix, and we're going to go to a cash game, a 25-cent, 50-cent cash game.
Oh, we haven't looked at a cash game tonight, have we?
No, we're good to have a look at this. Just before I go into this, I want to give out a shout to the Spennymoor Poker Club. They run poker tournaments on every Tuesday and Sunday. I think they're run by Tomer and George. And a friend of mine, Paul McManaman, is there tonight, and they're hoping to get 100 players. So fingers crossed that you do. So that's the Spennymoor Poker Club. And there's so many of these poker tournaments shooting up all over the country. You know, this is a game which is growing faster than anyone could ever imagine. And hopefully, part of the growth is down to Poker Night Live, educating the people.
That's what we're here for.
So there could be 100 people in Spennymoor there saying, hey, Poker Night Live. Let's hope they are. Let's have a look what's happening in the cash game. Bet a lot. I bet a lot when I play. 8, ace, king, 7, king. He's got 3 kings. Makes it 7. Thanks very much. 25 cent, 50 cent. The most you can buy in for is $50. Minimum you can buy in for is $5. There's Snap It with 2-5. Bethalot with a pair of 10s on the button should crank up the action. Raise it up, Bethalot. Let's see what you're going to do. He makes it 250, 5 times a big blind. Niallo has a nullo to do with it. Robbo doesn't want to know either. Oh, Robbo picks up King Kong. Big blind. Is there anyone out there who's likely to play? Not definitely. I don't think the 4-9 from Beardy will be there. 4 Queen from Beardy will be there. Not at all. He'll be dumping that. Eventually. Come on, mate. That's better. Potty Dotty. Potty Dotty's joined the game. 50 cents. Ah, enticed ace-2 suited to join in the fun. And there's the raise, as we expected, from Robbo Squirrel with King Kong. Potty's gone. In fact, they've all gone. So Robbie made himself $1.50. No risk. Potty's got a proper hand. Ace-King. Big slick. Under the gun. Only makes it $1. Loomis, pair of 6s, decides to call. Checks, the flop's 9, queen, queen. Not a bad flop, really, for the pair of 6s. Could be worried his opponent's got a queen, however, because he was a pre-flop raiser. But decides to call. Well, checks again. Well, if he felt it was right to call, maybe it was right to bet on the turn there. Well, another overcard comes for the 6s. There's 4 overcards there, 7, 8, 9 and queen. But he ends up winning it. He was determined to stay there. So Loomis goes into the land of profit. Robbo Squirrel on the button. Makes it $1, 50 with 50. Beardy, 50 cents to play, does so. 8 queen, check. Robbo, got position. Pair of kings on board, bets 150. It's a continuation bet, and it takes down the money. Good poker. Niallo. And we're under the small blind. Considering to make up the small blind, but doesn't, so Potty just takes down the blinds. You say, but part of it was his, but it's not. Once you put the blind in there, it's not necessarily yours anymore. So you consider it as a win when you win it back. There we go, we've got some stats for you guys and gals. It's when players fold. We can see on the left that's the number of hands dealt, and we can see the percentage of pre-flop folds. So bet the lot, Robbo, Squirrel, Buzz Lighthead, Snap It, Niallo, they're all playing quite selectively. And we notice Lumas, who likes to play a lot of hands, is doing so again. And Potty Dotty, wondered where he got the name from, is only folding 47% of the time pre-flop. Very loose. Okay, that's cash games, quite interesting. We've seen some good standard of play there. We saw some raising before the flop and then following it up with a continuation bet. That's what we like to see. Let's have a look. I think we've got some emails here. We've got an email from Chaz. Hi guys, I started a MTT at the 10 p.m. also. We all started off with 1,200 chips and there were 523 runners to start. We are only up to the second level of the blinds and we're down to 381 runners. Wow, lost about 140 runners already, yeah? And I'm up to 3,360 chips. That's very good. The prize pool is 10,000 guaranteed and the buy-in was $15. The top 50 get paid. Wish me luck. Great show, guys. Keep up the good work. Well, I'll tell you what, Chaz, keep us in touch because you're in great shape there and it sounds like a really good value tournament. So all the best from us and get in touch with us later. Let us know how you what happened to you, how you won or how you lost. We'll be interested to know. Okie doke, what else have we got here? Oops, sorry, he's the same one. He's come through twice, or I clicked it twice, who knows. All right, email from Tony. Hi, Michelle and co-host. Oh, yes, thank you very much. Hope you do well.
Co-host. I like that.
He's quick, isn't he? Hope you do well in your tourney play, your own game, and I will be cheering you on. Go on, Michelle, is what he said.
Aww.
And don't play too tight, loosen up, good luck. And that's from Tony. Did you get that, Mish?
Yes, thanks, Tony.
Okie doke. Let's get back to the game.
Sorry, I was in the middle of a hand there. Didn't get any action. Tragic Trev bottled it.
Here we go, back to the game. Now, I've been getting stuff in the ear that from the back room, they say he likes to be called Robo-Squirrel, not Robo-Squirrel, so I'm in a dilemma. Do you know, Michelle, or is it only a calculated guess?
Do I know
what? If it's Robo or Robo-Squirrel.
Oh, I thought you said he'd text in saying he liked to be
No,
called
it was
Robos.
from the gallery, they said it was Robo.
I reckon it's Robbo.
You're going for Robbo as well, okay. We could rename him anyway. You'll have to go with it. We like it as Robo-Squirrel, sorry. Potty Dotty, 3-4. Early position. Buzz Lighthead, 6-4. Niallo, I think we'll see something from him on the button. Ace-10. Not a brilliant hand, but on late position is easily good enough. Makes it 2. That'll be tough even for Lumas. Mind you, Lumas does like to see a lot of hands, and how soon does he react to that? He's raised, and Niallo must know him because he's re-raised. Wow, we've got an action pot here, guys and gals. How's about them, guys and gals? And it's up to Niallo. He's made it $20.50. I think that's too much for Lumas, who has no connection with his flop. And also, Niallo doesn't really have enough chips left for Lumas to start manipulating, I don't believe. Well, yes, he put it down, and that was very aggressive play there. We had the raise from Lumas, the re-raise from Niallo. He hadn't connected with the flop, and he's followed it up with a big bet. Very impressive play. And this is a 25-cent, 50-cent game. Wow. This just shows you what a standard. This game's getting better and better.
Apparently it's Robo as in robot, because he's a bot. That's what they were saying on here.
It's Robo?
As in robot.
Yes, okay. Robo Squirrel, because he's a bot. He plays like a bot. Well, we don't want to say he's a bot man, I don't think. You might be insulted. Lumas there calls with Queen Jack. He's got 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. That's why he's there. He's got a straight and he's got the flush. He's got everything. Poor old Snap It. I don't know what he's doing there. He's got his poor pair of jacks. Okay, Robo Squirrel makes it 1. Ace 2 suited. Beardy, Ace 4. Beardy calls. Right, are we going to see something? Yes, again. Robo follows up. Continuation bet, hasn't hit the flop. And Beardy smells a rat and re-raises. And takes it off Robo. Well, we're seeing some good poker here. Fantastic. People are thinking about the game, making moves, counteracting. What a high quality game we're watching at the moment. Keep it up, guys. It's fantastic. 25, 50 cents. You think we're watching $5, $10 here at least. Very impressive. Very impressive stuff. Beardy, position on the button, raises up to 2, takes the blinds down. Buzz Lighthead got a real hand, pair of queens under the gun. What's he going to do? Is he limping? Is he going to raise? No, he raises it up. He makes it $2. Nialo, nothing to play with. Pass, pass, pass. Potty Dotty calls with ace 9. Hits the 9. That could be trouble. How much is Buzz going to bet? There's $4.75 in the middle. We wait in anticipation. It's $3. Potty Dotty calls. I did say it was going to be trouble. Buzz, there's $10.75 in the middle. Thinking, I like that jack. I don't think it's any danger. Bet $7.50. And he calls again. But look at this. On the river, Potty Dotty been behind all the time. All of a sudden, ace on the river gives Potty Dotty 2 pair. Buzz Lighthead bets 5. Potty Dotty makes it 10. Winner, winner. What a result for Potty Dotty. Bit fortunate there. Was trailing all the way. But got lucky on the river. Had 5 outs, however. Had 2 9s or 3 aces. But 5 outs isn't a lot with 1 card to come. Big underdog.
Trev won't sing for me.
Well, you asked him to.
Yep.
You are in action now, are you?
I'm in action. I should be concentrating instead of chatting because you told me off for this before,
Yeah.
haven't you? So I'm going to stop chatting and start
You've got to start asking those questions about plays and everything I told you.
Yep.
This is how you're going to get better. And I'm going to ask you if you really question yourself about plays when we come to them. So you've got that pressure on you.
Yep. See, it is pressure though. Now I'm under pressure.
No, because you know you've got to do it on the hand. Work hard. You've got to work hard. I want notes from the players from you. I want you to know what these players do, Michelle, tonight. Come on.
Right, okay.
I want you at the top level. Get your pen, start making notes from the players. I'm being tough on her. I wanted her to win.
Okay.
Nialo makes up the small blind. No one's got a 7, no one's got a 9. Let's see how they play this. Nialo checks, he's out of position. Robo checks. Queen comes. $1.50 from Nialo into a $1 pot. Called down by Jack 10. I don't know what that was about. Oh yes, beg your pardon, I do. Sorry about that. He had 9, 10, Jack Queen, up and down straight. Sorry about that, guys. And he connected with the pair instead, which was good enough. Buzz Lighthead, no good. Nialo on the button, Jack Queen. Just calls. Limps in.
I'm pretty sure Tragic Trev just called you Baldy.
Did he? Tragic Trev, you're not making it easy for you because when I come up against you, it's going to get worse. Your chips are going to flow my way so quickly, you won't believe it.
Oh, excellent.
I'm going to hunt you down on all the sites. I know where you play. Your days are numbered. Tragic Trev, just because you've got a few names doesn't mean to say you're safe. Well, both got the top straight.
Oh, Flirty Liz says, leave him alone, he's mine.
Is Flirty Liz in the game?
No, she's just chatting.
Oh, right. Thanks, Liz. You protect me. Snap it. Cowboys, King Kong. Just limps by Snap it. Interesting. Let's see what develops from this play. Buzz Lighthead, nothing going to happen there. Yellow 7-6. I think Ken's going to be a bit unlucky here because no one's really got much. Loomis is always capable though, and there it is. What an interesting bet. $1.53. That took some imagination. How's Snap it going to react? With a re-raise to 462. Loomis calls with 9-7 off suit. Queen on the flop. That's quite nice for Snap it. He's hoping that Loomis has got a queen. Unfortunately for Snap it, he hasn't. But he takes down the chips, and that takes him up to $74. So, in the land of profit, I presume. Can't be sure of that, but I think there's a good chance that he is. Loomis there, a little bit tilty possibly, raised it up with 10-5 suited, gets re-raised. They want to re-raise Loomis tonight. I think they know him. Beardy, who's done a couple of re-raises. Lively play from Beardy tonight. Makes it 10 with nothing. Hasn't connected with the flop at all, but Loomis hasn't connected either. Beardy takes it down. Michelle, have you taken...
Oh no, I didn't think you saw me type that. Sorry, it was just one little mini thing.
What notes have you got on any players?
I'm doing it mentally.
No, physically.
All right, I haven't got a pen.
Okay, some physical notes. I want you to collect some notes, proper points, so you can...
It's like Miss Bandit getting me into trouble.
Okay.
Right.
I want some notes on some of those players.
Okay. Let's have a look.
Just when it comes about, don't force it, but if you notice something, make a little note.
And then you can look at my notes when we come back and watch.
We'll then see if any of it was any use. This is how we're going to help you, help me, help everyone. Okay, pair of queens on the flop. Snap It's got two pairs, queens and sixes. Nialo, ace, king.
Someone's put note, don't listen to James.
Who was that?
I think plastered.
I'll track him down too. Here we go. Now listen.
Oh, I shouldn't be reading that. Let me get back to the game.
They want you distracted. Nialo, no thanks. Robo Squirrel, 5-10. Loomis, I'm sure, will play. Pair of fours. Sure, he raises it up to 2. Bet the lot. Calls. He's got 9-10 Jack Queen. Up and down straight, but there's a pair on board. Loomis, of course, has got 2 pairs, queens and fours. The 2 is a nice card for Loomis. If he wasn't worried by the queen, he certainly will be worried by the 2. And I'm sure we'll see a bet from him. We do. It's $5. Bet the lot, puts it down. Loomis. Aggressive play there. Got him the chips. He did have the better hand, but he didn't want to see another card, so quite correct to bet away there. Took away his opponent's chance of making the straight. So we thought that was good poker. Beardy raised it up with 5-6. A bit of imagination. If he hit this flop, he could well get well paid, but he gets paid anyway. He gets the blinds. And to win the blinds with a 5-6 suited, you've been well overpaid. If every time you had 5-6 suited you got the blinds, it would be bargain basement time. Beardy, I do like that name. Potty Dotty raises it up to 2. Nialo re-raises to 350. Lumas, 7-10 offsuit, calls. My goodness. He is so imaginative. Ace, top pair for Nialo, bets 8. Bye-bye Lumas, he had a 7, but he didn't fall in love with that. Potty Dotty's got the 10s, and well done, puts it down. Nialo takes the money, but good play from the others, didn't fall in love with their hands. Snap it, ace 9, I doubt he plays. He doesn't. King Queen, bet the lot. Is he going to limp in? No, he raises, he makes it 2. He's in late-ish position, however. And so we know that in late-ish position it plays, if there hasn't been a raise before, we know it plays better. He's got the second pair. I think after the check from Lumas he can bet. He does so, and he takes down the money. Not a great flop for Lumas. 3 overcards. Beardy under the gun. 9 queen. Potty Dotty. Ace king. Big slick. How much, Potty? Come on, Potty. We're waiting. $3. Okay, worth waiting for. Big bet. Lumas 8-3. Surely not. No, not even Lumas wants to put in $3 with his 8-3 suited. Nialo's the one with the hand. Late-ish position on the cutoff, ace-10. Should raise it, I think, here. He doesn't. Very strange. Robo, no thanks. Lumas must do something. Yes, he raises with his 5-9. Beardy, is he going to do one of his re-raises? We've got 2 wild players here. He's considering it, I think. Or is he just going to pass? He just passes. Well, look at that. Lumas stole the money out of his pocket. Blatant robbery, Lumas. But I know that's what you like to do. Put a smile on your face. Lumas, he's going to crank it up with that, is he? Oh no, he just limps in with the 5-6. He's on the button, got position on everyone. 6-2 off suit looks pretty ugly. So Beardy passes it. The flop comes 9-3-8. No one's got a 9, but Potty Dotty... Oh, no, sorry, no one's got a 9. That's my sound thing on the floor, but I think it's still working. Potty Dotty's hit the jack. Top pair. Whereas Bet the Lot has got a straight draw, 8, 9, 10, jack. Potty with the top pair bets $2 into a $1.75 pot. Lumas has to pass. Does so. Robo Squirrel surrenders. Potty Dotty makes up the blind, got with his ace deuce. No one connected. Check from Potty. Snap it. Check. Snap It's now got an up and down straight. Are we going to see a semi-bluff from him? I think we might. You could put in $1 here. No. Potty's hit the pair there. Bets $2 into $1 pot. Well, I think if called is beaten, but technically probably should just have put $1 in, I think. Rather than 2. Potty Dotty on the button with Jack 5 off suit against a big blind with 2-5. What a horrible hand. Not horrible if you look at the flop, however, because the flop is ace-3-4, which a 2-5 fits like a glove, making straight on the board. Unfortunately for Bet the Lot, Potty Dotty hasn't connected at all, but Potty Dotty has decided to try and steal Bet the Lot. Thinking, dwelling, trying to look like it's going to pass. Of course, we know, very happy Will he check again, or is he going to bet? That's the question. If he bets, of course, Potty Dotty will pass because Potty Dotty's got nothing. If he checks, Potty Dotty might try and steal. Well, we know what the answer is. Potty Dotty passes. So maybe a check would have got a steal from Potty Dotty. Unfortunately, unless Potty Dotty tells us the truth, we'll never know. Nialo under the gun with Big Slick. Makes it 2. Loomas, he calls. 5-7 suited. What a monster. Potty Dotty in with ace-10. Don't like that. I prefer the call with 5-7 than the ace-10. Why? Because raising hands are more likely to be connected with the sort of hands Potty's got. Oh, how much more do I prefer the 5-7? Look at that. It's made 2 pairs. And Loomas checks. Tricky Loomas. Yes. Potty Dotty bets, making it $2. Nialo hasn't connected with the flop, but could have a go with his 2 overcards. And we're waiting to see what Loomas is going to do. Is he going to declare that he's got the hand, or is he just going to call? We'll find out. Oh, look at this. Nialo has now raised Potty Dotty with nothing. Just with overcards. Loomas has just called, and Potty Dotty's called. What a Potty Dotty call that was. Loomas makes it 5, declares he's got something. Potty Dotty calls again. I can't believe that. And Nialo's still there. This is beyond belief. What are these guys doing? And betting 2 into a pot that size is crazy. Wow. Very surprising. Very, very surprising. Well, a big pot there for Loomas. So he's continuing here to see if he's on a roll. He's raised it up with 7-8 suited. And he takes down another. Is he going to try again? Yes, he does. He's on a roll. We'll just see if Loomas here, how much of a roll he's on. This is his 3rd hand he's going to try and win now. Obviously playing the rush, as they say. However, he's been re-raised by Beardy, called by Potty Dotty. Loomas is bound to join in this. He does. He hasn't connected. Beardy with a pair of 9s. There's a king on board, however, which might put him off. Bets 4. It doesn't put him off. But Potty Dotty isn't put off either. Has got the top pair there. Flop 5 king 4 7. Beardy's got a pair of 9s. Checks. Potty Dotty, I'm sure, is going to put in a bet. There's $16 in the middle. Bets 50. Well, strange betting patterns. Strange betting patterns there, Potty. You were calling and betting that other hand where you had nothing. In this one, you had top pair and decided to bet 50. You're getting me a little bit confused there. Or maybe getting confused yourself. Okay, we're down to 12 runners in our MTT. This is a big stack table. We've got facelift 43,912. Remember, we started off with 121 runners. As I said, we're now down to 12. So the average is 15,125 chips. Hoik is still there. Facelift, our chip leader with ace queen. 4 times the big blind, 2,400 he bets. Crumble on the small blind, Queen 10, says no thanks. Kev Steele, King 8 on the big blind. It's going to cost 1,800 to call. He can't afford to be looking at paying 1,800 with a hand like that. Better to save his chips for betting with than calling with that. In fact, most options in poker, if always lean towards being a better rather than a caller. Crumble takes that one down with a pair of 10s. River Daz, no thanks. Crumble, 9, King of Hearts. Kev Steele, well, here's a little opportunity, I think, for Kev. A7 on the button, yes, makes it 1,800. 3 times the big blind. Hoik, difficult to call with King 4. Facelift, got all those chips, decides to call. Is Kev going to make a continuation bet? There's 3,900 in the middle. Yes, he does. He makes it 2,000. Nice price. Facelift shouldn't call this. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know if Kev Steele's got the queen. He doesn't know if he's got a made pair, but he did call it. And I'll tell you what, that ace can cause him some problems now. But he might get out of it because it could end up split pot. But it's ended up, hold that one. Can we go back to that? We just missed it. But that was Facelift getting himself into trouble there. He should have let go, and of course it's got Kev Steele right back into the game. He's now got 19,000. There was a chance that the kicker could have been negated, but it wasn't in the end, and Kev Steele's higher kicker got him the chips. Blinds up to 400, 800. Queen, Jack, King 9. Anyone got a spade? Of course. I have a one of a kind has got 2 spades.
Part finished.
Okay. Did you run out of paper taking notes?
I've only got one note.
One note, okay.
It goes too quickly. I have got stuff in my head though.
Have you? Do you want to write it down?
I was concentrating, so I wasn't writing.
Okay.
Because it happens very quickly. You
How was
don't
you
want to miss
chatting?
anything. I haven't chat once since you told me off.
All right, okay.
Didn't say anything, I just concentrated.
Did you try and ask yourself questions?
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't have any cards, they're all rubbish.
Okay, well, but you, okay.
You can wait and see how I did.
Good, good. Right, just have a look at this. We've got the ace-jack raised it up from Kev Steele. Hoik says no thanks. And the MTT progresses.
So how did you do while I was playing
Yeah,
then?
we've had some good games and some interesting situations. Shall I give you an email for once?
Yeah, go on
Go on then. Email from Clive, who's better known as Shell My Bell.
Oh, hi Cheryl.
James, thanks
Clive.
for the James, thanks for the critique. Yes, you are right in analysing my all-in bet with 2 jacks. That was the one where he had the king jack, remember? And there was the 3 hearts on the flop.
Oh right, yeah.
The flush was always there to beat me. I went all in case my opponent had 1 heart, and I wanted to scare him off the hand. That's what I said I thought he did. I didn't have time to consider all the implications that you highlighted as I was playing in a single table tourney at the same time, which I was lucky enough to win. Moral is 1 tourney at a time. Yes, you're right, my name is in homage to the poker princess, Michelle.
Oh.
Good luck tonight, Shell.
I like being called a princess.
Kiss, kiss.
Oh, mwah, to you too, Clive.
There you are. It's a nice one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Thank you. Do you know what? I do love everyone. They're all so lovely. I'm going to play Monday night in the Poker Night Live League on the forum. On Monday. I'm down to playing that. I must speak to Shelby actually and sort that out. So yeah, if you're a Poker Night Live fan and you're on there a lot, get in the league.
Okay, got another one here, Michelle. Hi all, been watching your show for the last few months and have been playing online poker successfully for 3 years, mainly tournaments and the occasional sit and go. Thanks for the comments during the $20 sit and go that you showed, even if the Jack of Hearts busted my ace-queen both ways for a straight and a flush against me. Very rarely do I pay pocket pairs less than Jack-Jack because more often than not you do not know where you are with a re-raise or overcards on the flop if you miss your set. That is why twice during the game I passed 9-9. In fact, we did comment on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
When you passed a 9-9.
We did, yeah.
I will always call when so short stacked, having posted more than a third of my stack with the big blind with any 2 cards, explaining the play with 3-4 as you said it was 37%. Yes, and that was quite correct, and that was good play. The comments that the Poker Night Live team have made have helped strengthen a few weaknesses that I had in my game, and I've been finishing more regularly in final tables of tournaments since. So again, thanks for your comments, and keep up the great effort to poker. Well, thank you very much indeed. And well done on your playing, and I'm glad you agreed with the advice.
Lovely, lovely done, James. Are you stealing my job?
Oh, sorry.
No, can you carry on?
Oh, you want
You're
another one?
doing
Okay.
Brilliantly. I'll be
Make
the
it work.
expert.
She's having the night off, I think.
Shall I?
No.
Shall I go?
Here we are. We've got an email from Sam Loomas.
You must. I've got to play him at heads up.
Have you? He says, you guessed it correct again, Mr. Browning. Very good. Ah. On the flop where he bet $20 with the ace high, I was going to push in until I noticed he could call with ace high because of his chip stack. Maybe if he had more chips, I could have made that play. Yes, I think you realised just a tad too late there, Loomas, but we were in tune, weren't we? But anyway, you make some great imaginative plays, Loomas. You're very volatile, but I'll tell you what, I love watching you play.
Yeah, well, he's challenged me to heads up, and I will do it, but I can't do it at work, so I'll have to do it another day.
All right.
But don't worry, Loomis, bring it on. Right.
Okay.
After the break, we've got the single that I've just played
and
in.
I'll tell you what now, you'll be able to have a little look at the new poker news show, Global News.
Excellent, and we'll see you when we return, which will be in about 5 minutes. So James and I will see you then. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to Poker Night Live. That's very chirpy, wasn't it? Hello. Right, well, you had a very interesting last part, didn't you? With you commentating on your own.
Oh, yes, definitely.
You did very well, I thought.
thank you. Good.
Notice how I'm just complimenting him, building him up. So you can return them
You're trying to
over
butter
me
me up in case I don't like some of your plays. I know what you're up to, Michelle.
Yes, we're going to be watching me in the Sit and Go tournament, but not just me, we're going to be watching everybody,
Yes.
so that's fine.
But I'm looking forward to it. Oh, dear.
No?
I'm sure I'm going to be pleased with you.
I hope so, right. We do have a couple of emails, should we do those?
Yes.
What haven't you done? Have you done Gemma?
No.
Right, okay. It's an email from Gemma. She says, hey guys, it's Gemma in Rugby here. I've only been playing poker for over just a week and was wondering what is the best position at the table and how important is it? Now this is good. Question about position.
Okay, the later the position you've got, the better. So therefore, probably the best position to have is be on the button. So because there, you can see what everyone else is going to do before it comes to you. So it gives you an idea what you want to do. We've been watching this cash game here, and we saw that people took advantage of the position of the button by, one, sometimes raising with a hand you wouldn't expect them to raise with, and then two, when their opponents checked in front of them, then made what I said was a continuation bet, and they bet out after the flop, representing that they had part of the flop, taking advantage of the knowledge that the person ahead of them was weak because they checked. So therefore, position, 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 that's one of the most important things in Texas Hold'em. So therefore, the later the position, the better it is. So that would be the best place to be. But of course, as the game moves round in a circle, you can't be there all the time. It wouldn't be fair. So it's only when you are in that position that you can take advantage of it.
We've got an email here from Gadgeter. She says, hey guys, where's Dr. Tom gone? I suspect he's been poached by another channel. If not, please respond. Someone on the forum said he was playing poker in Reno. Please let me know as I am suffering from withdrawal symptoms. Not that Potty Totty James and Michelle are not entertaining. It was actually supposed to be me and the doctor tonight, and then you swapped with him, didn't you?
Yes, because I'm good friends with Dr. Tom, and he's actually in Reno.
In Reno.
And in fact, I'll tell you what, I've just found a page here. I'm just trying to see.
How's he doing? Do we know?
I'm just trying to see if I've got any details here. I'll tell you what, give me a second, because I think I found somewhere I might be able to have some news for you. I will quickly check up, see if there's any news of the doc.
Well, I did text him, but I don't know if it went through because he's all the way in Reno, so I don't know how he's doing.
We'll try our best to find out.
We'll find out, but yes, he's playing poker. I'm assuming it's sunny over there. Right for some, isn't it? Right, well, I do think it's time to watch my tourney. Before we do, if you have any questions or comments on how I play, then you can text them into us on 84222. There it is, in case you've got the sound off. Or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. So are you ready, James?
Sorry?
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Is it Michelle time?
Yes. With my
Let's go.
unlucky partner in crime.
Let's hope you did better than Pop Idol, Michelle. That's all I can say.
Pop Idol?
The one who won it and disappeared. Michelle McManus, wasn't it? She was bigger than you.
Maybe a little bit. Or not according to Dr. Demi, who's going to get punched in the head when I see him.
Oh!
Calling me fat on the forum. What's he
Did
playing
he?
at? What is he playing at?
I know.
James?
Here we go. It's single table tourney time.
I can't wait to see
in
what
the
some
top
people have.
right-hand corner, we have Chip Nurse, which for those of you who don't know, is Michelle.
It's supposed to be Night Nurse. Look, 9-10, and I thought, this is where I thought about what you said. I thought 9-10, I don't want to raise with it, so I'll limp with it. But I'm under the gun. James would tell me, don't limp under the gun because you've got lots of action behind you. It's asking too much that people won't raise you. So if you're not going to raise it, put it down.
The only thing is that this is the beginning stage, the early level. If the time I advocate you can make some limps.
Oh, right.
Is in the early level because
Tell
it's
me
actually.
that.
Oh, yes, I did, because it's very cheap. So you put, but the thing is, it is early position. It is harder to get it through, but early. I'd prefer you to limp in late position with it.
Because
anyway.
I nearly
No, that's
limped.
fine,
I
it's
went
okay.
to I went to press call, and I thought no. I definitely remember James having a go at me last time. I limped. under the gun.
The thing is, you wouldn't want to be calling a raise with it, but if it's going to be a tight table, you might get away, they might see something. But it's fine putting it down.
Okay.
Late position, you could limp with some strange hands. We'll see if you had any opportunities there. But early situation, this 10-20, this is where we can perhaps sneak in to have a look at a few flops if we can. There's very little time you can do that in
Well,
this
usually
tournament.
I do at the early stages. I must admit I have a few limpies.
Okay, here's Posh, which is a Peterborough United Football Club. PUFC boy, he was on last night. Posh.
Okay.
Because it's
Hi,
a posh
Posh.
full support.
They're all lovely.
They're called the Posh Peterborough
Wizard,
United.
Gibbies, Posh, Tragic, Balrog and Cat Attack.
Balrog.
And
King
actually,
Kong.
Bulgarian was in Wizard's seat and gave it up for him.
Balrog raised there with King.
Which was rather
No
jolly.
takers.
So he raised pre-flop with kings.
Oh, I got someone commenting said that I'd raised with Ace King and got no takers twice. Well, so now we've got someone raised with King didn't get a caller.
Yeah, it's
You
annoying,
can't
isn't
always.
it?
It has to be out there. A caller has to be there.
I've got A7. So I think that I can't remember what I did. I raised it.
Ooh.
Do you know what? I meant to raise it to 60 because obviously there was already 10 in when I put
You
in
forgot
60.
about that, yeah. Still, it's going to put a bit more strength to it. You don't particularly want to play that out of position. You're quite happy to just have a little free round there.
Thinking about that though, was that stupid because I'm risking 70 just to get 20?
Well, I'd said you slightly overbet it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because
Or even risking
if someone
60,
comes over the
which
back,
is-
if someone comes over the top of you, you're going to pass, aren't you? So you
Yeah.
want to leave less in the middle than the 70 probably. So
Yeah.
technically it was a little mistake. But not. It's fine that you just showed that you're capable of not letting the big blind just get the move. That was probably quite good anyway, just to show that you're going to do something.
Sixes and tens.
Tragic Trev, he's got a pair of sixes, which is like the second pair there basically, because there's an overcard of an ace, but however, in reality it's like a third pair because Cat Attack's got a pair already. That's a pair of tens. But Tragic Trev gets away from it.
Ace 2. I think I made a mistake here.
Right.
This may well be the hand where I made a mistake. No, it wasn't. No, it was later on with an ace 2. I folded here. Oops, sorry. That'll come.
King Jack's raised on the button. And don't think he'll get a caller. Takes down the blinds.
Actually, I don't think I made a mistake, but I'm wondering if I did.
Okay,
But I'm
don't
gonna
worry,
stay
we'll see
adamant.
about it when it comes. Ooh, I like the look of this.
Do you know what, right? This is what I'm thinking here.
Hang on, let's just watch the hand, Michelle. Tragic Trev just calls, and I'll ask you in a sec. Let's just get the whole storyline. So he's called under the gun. Michelle has made it 60. That's fine.
I've decided not to slow pay.
And I think you're right, because there's an extra caller in the pot anyway.
And I thought, I don't know why, but I thought if I just limp, I don't think he's going to
Well,
bet
they
anyway.
had no hands there, so they're not going to want to play. And you've got a caller. It's
Yeah.
absolutely perfect. You ended up heads up. You're now in 150 pot with aces.
Because the board was paired, I thought I've got to bet.
Okay, well, how much did you bet?
Only 60 again. I'm not bothered if I get a call. I quite like a call, in fact, 'cause I do think I'm ahead.
Right,
at the
60.
same time-
60, I think, is slightly under bet.
I should be betting the pot there, shouldn't I?
No, not the pot. No,
No?
you should have probably bet about 75,
Okay,
80, about half the pot size.
okay.
Would have been good. But nothing wrong with the way you played that hand. You ended up with one person against you. You got the blind money in the middle as well. Fine. You weren't put off by the pair, and you found out where you were. Perfect, Michelle. Nothing wrong there at all.
Decided to limp with the king,
You just
queen.
call with the king queen,
Yeah.
and I think that's fine. I like that. Big raise.
This was a decision.
And a call.
Because there was 2 calls, I easily put it down.
Exactly.
But before the second call, and quad 9, so
Yeah.
I must have missed that. Wow. But yeah, if it would just been wizard, I would have had a decision, but because lucky, and I was thinking, oh, what do I do? And then Posh called, so I thought, right, well, now I can put it down. The decision's taken out of my
If
hands.
it was just Wizard with a raise to 160, you wouldn't have called, I hope. Why would you be calling a big raise and not know where you are with King Queen? I wouldn't have wanted you to call with King Queen.
No, I wouldn't have if I didn't have position.
No, well, you weren't going to have position. You're going to be out of position.
Yeah, so I would have folded. But if I'd had position and someone had
What,
raised and I had
160,
King Queen...
You've only put 20 in the middle. Why do you want to get involved?
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't want to be a...
Because it was
you want to
suited
be
as well.
Here we have 4 9s here anyway, though.
Wow.
4 9s against 2 pairs, 9s and 10s. It's 4 9s for Posh there. A great result. He was behind, of course, the 10s, but found a magnificent flop.
I don't know what to talk about anyway. I would have folded a King Queen.
Yeah, and, you know, you've got to take some notice. King Queen rules in the land of the unraised pot. Not raised pots, it's always against things which can cause it a problem.
Or be the raiser with King Queen.
Yes, or in late position, no one's done anything, then you can raise yourself.
9s again.
Just called with the 9s. And we're going to see something from Posh, I think, who's got the ace-king and the limp from Gibbies. And Posh now with the ace-king suited. Raises up to 80. Called by Jack-king. First position. Don't like that at all. I think that is a loose call. And we've had the re-raise from Wizard, all in. Well, doesn't have many chips, thinks this is as good an opportunity as any because he's got extra money in the middle. He hoped that his pair is winning, presumes that he's against overcards, but says, well, here's my chance to get back in the tourney. With the amount of chips he's got, I don't mind this play. He's trying to capture some extra chips in the middle. He's sort of doing a squeeze play on cat attack. And cat attack can't call, so he's got his money into the middle. He's squeezed him out of the pot. So I think that was a good opportunity from Wizard, and it's worked out. And there we are. He's got himself back virtually to a starting position. He was in trouble. He made a move when he had to make a move. He got extra chips in the middle by flat calling and then raising. So that was nice play. Did you understand all that, Michelle?
Yep. Nice, we like that. Double through.
And you understand how he squeezed someone out the pot?
Yeah, and that which is important. And
but do you understand also how that highlights what a bad call that was by cat attack originally?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a bad call. And also that push by Wizard, I've actually just read a bit about that as well, which where it says, even if you think you're only second at this point and that one of them's beating you, you should still push it because you want to get rid of the third because it ups your percentage chances.
Yes, as long as it's not costing you too much money. Be careful be careful of not taking information which is related to limit play.
Yeah.
Because if it's limit play, it's only a small price you're playing to maneuver people.
Yeah.
Where if it's no limit play, never mind the fact that you're getting someone out, it can actually be costing you too much money to do it, and you don't want to be putting too much money in there when you've got the second best hand. Have you got that? That's important. I'm going to tell you again, because you didn't get it.
I was reading an email.
Well, you've got to concentrate. How are you going to get better if you don't concentrate, Meet?
Sorry, but I have to do that, because I have to be ready for when we come back.
No, you can look it after. If it's important, but you must listen. It's on a limit game, you can do plays of pushing people out.
Oh, yes.
Because it doesn't cost you so much money. But if it's a no-limit game, if it costs you too much money and you think you've got second best hand, you don't want to be putting too much money in there when you've got second best hand.
No.
Doesn't matter you've squeezed someone out. It's now you're in there with second best hand and you've had to put too much money in there.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
be careful in some of the advice which is coming from limit play.
Because you have to be careful not to confuse the two.
Exactly. Some of the plays adapt to pot limit and no limit, but not all of the plays.
I have played some limit, actually. I don't like it as much as no limit. I think it's because I was born with no limit.
Yes, you sort of
Into
started
the poker
with
world.
that. Yeah. So, okay. We've been missing a little bit here. What's happening? Skinner with a pair of 8s has got the overpair to the flop, but Gibbies has got a better overpair, which is a pair of 10s. No one's got a diamond, but the 3 diamonds there has to be worrying the players somewhat. And let's see how Skinner reacts. He bets 160. And Gibbies just calls there. That diamond's got him worried. Or is it possibly the pair? Now the ace has worried him. Everything's worrying, really. And there we go. It slowed down the betting because it was too frightening a flop for everyone.
Do you think Gibbies would have been pushed off that if Skinner had made a move? Because the ace was there on the diamonds.
Yes, as we could see that. But I mean, but as Gibbies was frightened of the flop, the way it was developing, so was Skinner. Because everything was scary about it.
So if Skinner did make a move, it was a very ballsy, it would have been a very ballsy, a very unsafe one.
Yeah. Okay, on the small blind, Wizard, 9-10. Makes a move and takes it.
So I've got a 4-8.
Which is
after
rubbish.
careful consideration, I've decided
You
to
dumped
fold.
it.
I love being able to see back what people had.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. There's been a couple of times where I've been like, what did he have, when he's made me put something down, or... And a couple of times I've been had, I must say, where I've put it down, I actually had a better hand. That's really annoying.
Right, all I've got so far from... Oh no, it's not, that isn't from... Beg your pardon, no, that's
from
from
our dear doctor.
I'm trying to track down the doctor, but that's from the bicycle club.
Are they in front or behind us, time-wise?
They're behind us.
Right, well, I'll try sending another text, see if he gets back to us before the end of the show.
What I do have is, I just want to... I'll keep an eye on you here, is... One sec. I've got the results of the big tournament, actually, at the Vic. It's the European Poker Classic. And the winner of that tournament was a big prize. First prize was £135,000.
Nice.
And the winner was John Cabage. He's quite a well-known player from England. John Cabage, he's got a Russian wife. He was on the cruise when I was on the cruise. Jan Heitmann from Germany was second. A player we'll all have heard of. Dave Kolkloff came third. Second place was 104,000. Dave Kolkloff got 63,000. Kevin O'Connell, who I know we show on Poker Zone, he came fourth. So he got 37,000. So that's just to keep you up to date with some of the results of the big tourneys. But this big tournament we're looking at is the one with Michelle in it. So back to that. 3-4 for Chip Nurse. She chucks it away with disgust.
Yep.
She's still on the second level. She's got 10 chips more than she started with. We still have a full complement of players, and no one really has marched on yet. The chip leader being Gibbies, who's got 1,270. So this is now taking on the nature of a lot of our sit and goes, and it is pretty cautious to start with. Balrog takes it down. Chip Nurse, 10 deuce, the Doyle Brunson.
Why?
Because he won the World Series with it twice.
Really?
He
Twice? What, the winning hand?
Yes.
Wow.
But obviously in heads up it was just sort of... actually, World Series once, I think maybe there's another tournament, the other 10 deuce, but another major tournament.
I must play Loomis heads up, I keep saying that I will.
I think that would be dangerous.
Yeah, I've never done it before though, so...
I think I'd start with someone easier than Loomis, because he's wild.
I can bring him on.
Well, 10 deuce got a free crack at this one.
And my deuce was good. I'd already made my decision that I wasn't even going to try and bluff, I was just going to check it down.
Well, very nice. Just take down the chips. You got.
If he'd bet, I would have gone.
You got the chips with no risk there.
Not even getting involved in early position with 2-6.
Cat attack on the button might do a little raise here. He does, makes it 120. Michelle passes. Skinner with ace-9 of clubs. Well, he's going to be out of position when he calls. Decides to pass. Opportunist move by cat attack.
It's so funny watching it back. Now I'm on the button with 8-9 here, and I was contemplating
Well,
whether
the blinds have gone up.
Yeah, so it seems a bit scary all of a sudden that to steal it's going to start costing me quite a lot of
Well,
money.
you've got to see what other people do first. I'm sure there's probably some action first.
Well, which was nice, so I
now
didn't
you
have to
can
make the
forget about it.
decision. But if everyone had limped, I don't know what I would have done there. I might have had to
Tragic
chicken out and fold it. Don't know.
Tragic Trev raises it up to 200. If everyone else had passed and it came to you, you could have put in a raise with the 8-9. Because you hadn't been doing much and you'd be representing quite a strong hand if you put in the raise. But once there's any other action there, you don't want to know.
7-8. Offsuit. Mark Bannon.
Balrog, pair of fours, has raised it up. A big raise there, 3 times the big blind, 240. Wizard, 8-8. Passes. Gibbies passes. Balrog takes it down.
Pre-flop folds. Where am I?
What's Michelle got there? Can you say what you are? 2-3, was it?
2-3, yeah.
90% for Skinner, 85% for Gibbies, Balrog and Chipners. And everyone playing pretty conservatively, really. Even the loosest is folding to 71% pre-flop. Okay,
Yeah,
back
I
to the
wanted to
game.
be a bit looser as well and make a few more moves, but I wasn't really getting any cards.
Ace-6-5. Posh there with the middle pair. Gibbies, no connection. Makes it 80. And that's enough.
Down a 10 and a half. I've only got about $78 in my account. Still up by about $35.
That's good.
Oh, whoops.
8, 9, 10. Now what happened here? You limped, did you?
I
80, yes.
I had a limp, and then this is the hand I was telling you about earlier. Watch and see what you think.
You limped with Ace-3.
Oh, I don't even know why. It's because I hadn't done anything for ages. I didn't want to raise. I thought I'd have a little limp because it's suited. I know. Don't know why.
Bets 160.
Well, I thought this is the question. This will tell me if someone else has an ace, and if they haven't, I'm ahead. Now, when he called, I thought, right, he's got an ace. So now I...
Well, the flop's a bit dangerous as well. 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. So now it's 2 pairs. So I'm thinking the only thing if I've got this
got
correctly,
aces and nines with a 10.
with a 10, I'm thinking if I've thought
So
of
if
this
he's
correctly,
got a jack, queen or king...
Yeah, but because he didn't raise pre-flop, I didn't think he did have, which is why I make this call. Because I think he's got to have an ace-jack, an ace-queen or an ace-king. He didn't raise pre-flop. So I don't think he's got it, so I called it. So what do you think of that? Was that the wrong thing to do? I mean, I shouldn't really be in the hand anyway with ace-3, but... I really thought about it and I was thinking he didn't raise pre-flop. I don't know if he's got the ace.
It's the old problem of playing aces with dodgy kickers.
Which I never usually do.
And in the end, it cost you a bit of money. It's knocked you back down to 650.
Yeah, I'm 650 now. So that's the other problem with that's it. That one hand has changed my whole tournament thing.
The blinds were 40-80. To limp with ace-3, I don't think was very good.
No, I didn't think it was very good after I did it.
Because it's got the likelihood. I don't think you've really got enough chips to be making the limps there now.
Because at the time I think
because
I had
we're
about
on the third,
1,050.
We're at the third level now. I don't want you limping now in the third level with ace-3 or ace-3 suited.
Yeah, because I think I had 1,050 and then it cost me 80. So it put me under 1,000 again.
Well, no, it cost you far more in the end because
In the end,
you've
yeah.
bet and called. It's cost you another 320. It cost you about 400.
Yes, I know, because now I'm down to 650.
Cost you 400.
So now I'm thinking, right, now I'm probably just
So I didn't like
to go
that, Michelle,
all in.
I'm afraid. Because you're on the third level, and I don't think you should be limping with ace-3 suited in middle position on the third level.
No, I think you're most probably right, James.
And it's a sort of hand which needs company, and I just don't like it. I don't like it. Later on, ace-3 in late position suited, I'll be telling you to raise with it. In that place, I'll tell you not to limp with it.
Yeah.
It's always changing according to the situation. So I'm afraid to say a little bit of a little black mark for that one.
Black mark for the ace-3.
Right, so what you were doing was limping on the third level.
10, 20, yeah.
40, 80
80.
you limped. Right, so make a note of that,
Which
basically.
was, what, that's like a 12th, 13th of my stack or something.
Well, you had just 1,000 chips, didn't you?
Yeah, just
so
over.
Yes. Right, ace king for Skinner, suited. Well, let's see what happens to you from now on. You've got queen 9 on the big blind. Doesn't look to be too much out there, but the Balrog might well do something. King 5 limped. I don't like that. That's horrible. Balrog disappeared with the ace 9. Put off by the limper, I think.
I checkered.
But the limper, as it happens, had nothing. King 5. He's got something now, however. He's got top pair.
Well, he's not getting any of my chips with it.
King
Trying to use his best
8,
asset.
and he's got a spade in his hand. Chip nurse checks. Gibbies bets 80. Please give me 80.
Nope.
Chip nurse.
Not going to happen.
Nope, you can't, says Chip nurse. And she's down to 530. Well, and there's still 8 players.
And they're all going in the chat box. You were going to go out 8. I was
Cat
like,
attack
no, not again.
on the button raises to 160. Chip nurse passes, Skinner passes. Queen deuce on the button for Michelle. Doesn't look very tempting. Posh, Queen 8 suited. Deliberating, cat attack, 9-10, just calls. Has now captured position. But Wizards captured the king. And hit the king on the flop, giving him top pair, albeit with a small kicker. Checks. Ah. Middle pin straight draw for cat attack. Backdoor flush. Bets 160. Just called by Wizard. If he calls because he thinks he's winning, why didn't he raise? That's the question. And he's checked, and cat attack bets. So what does Wizard think now with the ace coming? Life's become more difficult, and I think that's why he could have fired back a raise. Well, in fact, I think he should have bet out with the top pair. He's called with... If he wants to play a hand with king 5 and he hits top pair, why doesn't he bet it? But the moral of the story is it's probably not a great idea calling with king 5, because if you hit, you don't know where you are. And that's what caused him to... in fact, I think he was on the blind there, but still these funny hands, sorry, if you don't know where you are, is a problem with these funny hands. But in that situation, there hadn't been any pre-flop raise, had there? Sorry. It was cat attack, just called with his 9-10, no pre-flop raise. You've hit your king on the blind. You bet it, because it's quite likely that it's winning, because there was no pre-flop raise.
Wizard gets the 7s against Skinner's king.
Yep, ace 7, what a
take
dream.
Skinner out.
Hang on, Michelle. That stopped them singing.
I'm hanging on for dear life after my ace 3 mistake. God, isn't it terrible though how one thing can put you... But interestingly, yes, caught limping in mid-position with ace 3 was a bad move on my part, and the only reason I did it was because I hadn't done anything in ages. But what about the call on the end? I didn't put him on the ace.
What do you think he had?
Well, I put him on maybe a high pair, but I thought I put him
But why
on
would
2
he-
pair like me. I didn't put him on chips because I thought he'd bet, and I didn't put him on a bigger pair than like 10s because he didn't raise pre-flop.
It looked like you bet an amount which... It looked like to me he bet an amount which he wanted paid.
Yeah, probably actually.
But it's, no, in a way, you sort of... there's a bit of money in the middle, it's hard to put down. Anyway, watch what happens here. The blinds are going up to 81.60. Michelle says, I can't muck around, I'm going to go all in. I like it. Correct play. You had to do it because the blinds are coming round. That's as good as it gets for you, and you've pushed. So that's good play.
Take down the blinds. Doesn't help me that much though.
It helps you a lot. It's 240. It's virtually...
Nearly half my stack.
Nearly half your stack doesn't help you much. It's fantastic help. What more do you want? You're up to 770. It's huge. It's a huge result for you.
Yeah, but that amount's going to be... yes, it's a brilliant result, but it's going to be taken away in the next hand, so I'm hoping to get something.
But it would have been an even better result if you hadn't frittered away 400.
400 earlier on. But you see, 400 usually... It's surprising how much that makes a difference to your stack.
Well, of course. You just turn your nose up at winning 240. Yeah.
I want to be winning, that's
yeah,
why.
but 400 disappeared and we didn't hear too much about it, but... Okay.
Ace 4. Do you know what? I was thinking here, what do I do? But because these people raised, I thought, no, there's a bigger ace out there, I'll put it down.
That's a flat raise from Wizard, makes it 320. Just called by the ace-king suited Gibbies. That's interesting. Play with 7-10 behind him. I think I would have to be asking the question. I would have raised his Gibbies in that situation. Balrog's done the raise to 1,050. Well, he's all in. It's got rid of the Wizard with his 10-jack, and Gibbies now, there's extra money in the middle. Will have to call. Does call. Hits a top pair. There's a possible flush draw for Balrog. Is there a heart? No, there's not. There's no heart, no 9, and so Gibbies with the ace-king, big slick suited, hits the top pair and goes to chip leader with 2,620. How things change quickly in a sit and go. Chip nurse, small blind with 9 queen. It's starting to look like a reasonable hand.
That's what I was thinking. I really thought about this. You'll see my time go down.
Balrog all in for 20.
Really had to...
Cat attack.
And then obviously I had to put it down nice and easy.
Queen 9 doesn't look so good now when you see someone going all in.
I was tempted though, I must admit. I was thinking I want to, but then in my head I was like, no, you need to be the aggressor. You need to be the one going.
You want to be the better, not the caller, because callers don't have any fold equity, where betters do.
Which is what made me put it down in the end.
Is that what you remembered?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Good.
I thought, no, I need to be the one going all in here. I need to be the one pushing.
Okay.
So I put it down. I hope for something that would allow me to do that on the button.
And just as well, because you'd have lost.
Yep.
But Balrog turns it up to 80. His 20 there. He's singing and dancing, thinking this will be a great comeback on Poker Night Live. If I can win this from 20, I'll be talked about forevermore. Cat attack, ace deuce. What did he have there, Michelle?
4-7 of hearts.
Okay, motley, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought I've got 4 more hands before the big blind to try to catch a hand that I can push with.
Everyone passed to you though. It was
With Gibby's stack though, it'd be easy enough for him to call me.
Sorry?
With Gibby's stack.
Yes, that's right. That's a good point. That's the good point.
So I thought I've got 4 hands for the big blind.
Excellent point there, because he's on 160 and you've only got 530, so it would only cost him 360. And that's right. That's a good thing to think about. So you had obviously below average hand. You didn't have much fold equity, and that was the point. So that's very good, Michelle.
Yay.
Very good. Balrog's pushed it all in, 80. Queen Jack 4, Balrog's hit top pair. Will this comeback? The comeback is going to continue. There it is. Balrog now, he's turned his 20 into 240. What are we watching here? Yes, he's got 8-8 suited. I'm sure it's all going in. It does. He's pushed it.
I was tempted with the Jack 9, James.
Yes, well, it's getting to that situation now.
Yeah.
In fact, if you notice, he's only got 240. You could come over the top of him, and basically, if they all pass, you've got the extra money in the middle.
Yeah, I didn't in the end, but I was so tempted. I really thought about that for ages.
It's a tempting situation there, because he's just, he's pushing regardless. He's pushed every time.
I was trying to say to myself, what have I remembered about this situation? What should I be doing? And I wasn't sure.
It's a king for tragic Trev. And is this the end of the comeback? It is. Balrog was nearly going to do the magic from his 20, but he got thwarted by tragic Trev, called him down with a king 5 and hit the king.
The dreaded 3s.
Here we go.
Dreaded 3s,
Are you pushing?
You know I hate.
Are you pushing?
I have to.
Are you pushing?
It's a made hand. have no choice. And I
Is
was
she
like,
going
I
for
don't want
it?
to do it. I don't want to do threes.
Oh
but I
my
have
goodness!
no choice.
Yay! Good play from Michelle. Oh goodness, we see down there someone's got one of your threes.
I know.
Wizard calls with ace queen. Needs a king to make a straight, or an ace or a queen. Oh, now got an up and down straight. An 8, a king, an ace or a queen. It isn't there.
Woo-hoo.
And Michelle's baby threes hole up. And she's now to the best chip situation she's been all night.
Yep.
There we are. She's got 2 pairs, jacks and threes. That takes her to 1,300. But 320 of that is put straight in the middle because she's on the big blind. And the wizard's gone all in. Chip Nurse is cursing. She said, look, I've got an ace in the big blind, but I don't think I can call it.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking, actually, James.
And you're right.
I was thinking, oh, I have an ace. Why has he done that? What's he got? Does he have 10s? Does he have 9s? He probably has an ace. I've only got 3 with it. Look what happened with the ace 3 earlier.
You got away from awkward situation, but that's quite a nice hand in the small blind with the chips 163.20.
I should have pushed
That's
it.
quite a nice. That's got me tempted.
Yeah, I should have done it.
I'm all in there.
I didn't. Should have done it.
Because I've got the posh covered. I had extra money in the pot.
I don't know, I didn't, to be honest.
I think that was a missed opportunity.
A costly missed opportunity.
Can you see that? You had posh covered, extra money in the middle, you push, you squeeze the others out. If you lose to him, you still have a dog's chance with the few chips you got left.
Yeah.
If you win, you've got added money in the pot. Can you see?
I wasn't thinking of it
No,
like that,
can you-
to be honest.
But
so,
can you
yeah.
see that now?
Yeah.
Or is that a new thing you've learned?
Yeah, because I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, again, I want to be the pusher in here. I want to be aggressive. I wasn't thinking, I've got him covered.
Right.
I could push the other one off.
Can you see what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
You have him covered. There's extra money lying in the pot. If you call and re-raise all in, you're going to squeeze the other people out because I think she's got a big hand. They leave their money behind. If it all goes wrong, you've still got some money left. If it goes right, you're bringing extra money.
Yeah, that's all right. Wasn't thinking that at all.
Okay. So there's something else. It's another little thing you've learned. That's a horrible hand for Chip Nurse. The blinds here are ferocious, aren't they? 163.20.
Yeah, I've got some serious work to do.
And now you see, that hand you've turned down, look, you have to wait for a random hand. And that hand is so much better than a random hand, isn't it? It was ace-9, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So much better than a random hand. So I'm afraid that was your...
Another black mark.
It was a black mark, I'm afraid.
It's too much pressure. Can't handle it.
And there we go, tragic Trev, 10 queen. But it doesn't connect in any way. And we lose tragic Trev.
4 of us left. They're all. They're such. I'm in such bad shape now. I'm thinking, oh
Right,
my
you
god.
are in bad shape, but that's horrible there. You're not much fold equity and...
8-3. I'm thinking
horrible.
this is terrible.
You're right to put that down because your big blind's likely to be better than that. So.
Now, yeah, exactly. Now I know without any doubt that I'm all in whatever the big whatever I get next hand.
Yeah, because you're going to have 320 in the middle and you're only going to have 340 left.
Yeah.
So that's it. You're committed now. And Gibby's there's got the flush draw and the straight draw. Needs a 5
thinking,
or a
please,
spade.
Go all in against each
And
other.
Cat Attack's got the up and down straight. But of course Gibby's winning with the by virtue of the fact that he's got the high card, which is the ace, but he's winning in a canter now. Although the board pairs up, this doesn't help anyone, and it gives him the flush, the ace high flush. Bets 320, no takers, obviously. And Gibby goes a bit further into the lead. Night Nurse now, queen 3. She thinks, well, at least I've got a queen. There's a queen just past, we can see. There's the posh with a pair of 7s. Pushed all in. Chip Nurse says, I've got to go. Hit the queen! Oh, my goodness, but posh has hit the 7, made trip 7s. And that's it, I'm afraid. It's all over for Chip Nurse.
Not in the money again!
She hit the queen, but had to walk into trips. That's cruel, isn't it? But never mind. He did have the better hand before the flop, but it would be nice for that queen to stand up. Here we go. Cat
Not
attack has
happy.
whacked it in, 1830. Posh with king 7. And it's rattling along now.
On a good note,
Gibbies, king jack.
I did win a tourney earlier on today.
Oh, good. Just one sec. Big raise from Gibbies there. The blinds are very high now, 326.40, and Gibbies pressurised this. He's starving the lesser chips of their blinds. This is what a good move by the chip leader. And again, he's attacking. He's taking their oxygen away. Are we going to see it again? I think we are, you know. He's got that ace. I'm sure he's going to pressure. Yes, he's pressured yet again. And look at that. He's stolen yet another blind. A good example from Gibbies here. He's relentless at the moment. I think he'll rest on that one, however. Here we go. Posh against Cat Attack. Cat Attack's only got 640 left. It's tough to pass. In fact, it's wrong to pass, I think. I think he's just more or less got to commit here. But he does pass. Posh pushes all in. Cat Attack, yes, this time got his money in the middle. Gibbies will say goodbye to this, I believe. Does so. 3-6 jack. Cat Attack hits the jack. Beats those sevens. Sevens are behind though, need a 7. Not there. It's jacks and 3s, and Cat Attack back to 2,000. Gone into second place. Won't play that one. Here we go. Gibbies. I imagine we can see some pressure coming here. Oh, in fact, just going to set him in, isn't he? Yes, he's setting him in. It's a7 against king 9. 7's connected. King of 9 will save him. And it's a 9. Woof! On the river.
Posh is
Thank
saved.
goodness for that, says Posh. I was getting just a tad worried. Posh, king 4. Yep, good play. Attacking play when the blinds are big. And look at that, he got him to pass. What a result. To take down 960 chips. No risk. Bargain. Cat Attack commits. Gibbies has to call. He's hit the 7. Gibbies needs an ace now. Cat Attack looking safe. And is safe. And look at that. It's suddenly changed round there. Gibbies has suddenly gone into second place. In fact, now gone to third. But this could repair things. He's made it 1280, 640 with 640. He didn't want the blinds, but he got them. But it's enough to take the chip leader. It's moving back and forward because the blinds are so big. 640, 1280 now. Not much room for thought here. Just get that all-in button clicking. And that's it, down to 2. Cat Attack surrenders. Ooh, nice hand for Gibbies. Ace Queen against Ace Jack, and he's got the flush draw. How sweet does it get? Look at that, much sweeter than that. On the turn, no waiting. And just to add insult to injury, Cat Attack hits the jack on the river. How cruel the poker gods can be sometime.
This hand
Pair of jacks, they're getting good hands alternately. It's going back and forward. It's a seesaw final. Gibbies just makes up the blind. Haven't seen that. 8-2-9. Gibbies has got the second pair. Bets 1280. Cat Attack. Tough to call. Got a high card and a low card and no connection with the flop. Doesn't look sweet. Passes again and it's all changed. Gibbies is taking the lead again. Cat Attack gets given that as a prezi. Gibbies didn't want to play it. But he'll want to play that. He's got an ace. Cat attack bets. He calls. We've got it. Ace 7 queen, but he's got the king of diamonds. This would give him a flush. He's got trip aces, but the diamond would still squeeze, but it doesn't. And there we have a winner. It's Gibbies, who's made trip aces with king queen against Cat attack, who had aces and kings. He was on a flush draw. The diamond didn't come, and there's the result. Gibbies in a final which fluctuated back and forward just like a seesaw ended up the winner.
Chip movement chart, where am I? There I am in red. Watch me, oh, it's gone.
Well, Michelle.
Do you know what? The last 3 tournaments I've played with have been with you and I've lost everyone. Too much pressure, Brownie. Can't deal with it. I'm cracking under the strain.
Michelle, let's be positive.
I won a tourney this morning,
Michelle.
so it's balancing.
Michelle, let's be positive. No, let's learn something.
I have learned something.
Right.
Don't play with you.
No.
Joking. I've made
Let's learn something. No. What did you learn today?
I learned that
Let's have 2 things. Can you remember what you...
don't limp in with ace 3 when you've got 1,050 chips and it's going to cost you 80 to
And what
limp
level
in,
was it?
even if it is suited.
What level was that?
3rd level.
Well done. So
Although,
that was too late to...
I back my reasons for calling on the river.
Yes, there was quite a lot of money in the middle there. Maybe it was right. It would be not.
I thought I'd put him on if he'd had
I'm
the
not so
ace.
bothered, but I didn't sort of make that the black mark bit, did I?
No.
I thought the mistake
Was limping in
yes,
the first place.
3rd level. Okay, with a hand which is difficult to play with because it's a hand which can give you trouble.
I don't know why I come in with a rag ace.
Okay,
not that
so
bad,
there's that one, and the next one.
I should have pushed all in when I had ace 9, and the person under the gun went.
Now, why should you have pushed all in?
Because I could have pushed out the big blind, and even if I had lost, I would have got some chips back.
Yes, because you had the guy covered who'd gone all in ahead of you. Time was running out.
Yep, I had the blinds coming.
The blinds were coming round. Ace 9 was going to be an above-average hand. You'd be against the guy. If he did have a better hand, unlucky, you could still have beaten him, however, and you had the extra money in the pot. That extra money is something you're searching for at that stage in the tournament. Time is running out. The combination of it all means that was an opportunity, and you missed the opportunity.
Slap my wrist.
Listen, but if you learn each tournament...
Yeah. But see how it's
Is
going.
that not
the
brilliant?
first 4 tournaments I've played in, I got in the money 3
Yeah, but
times, and now it's been ages.
Short-term trials, don't worry about it. Short-term trials. You did well, you got to the bubble.
They're telling me to stop whining.
Yes.
I'm going to have them in the break.
But short-term trials, don't worry about it. If you learn...
I have learned something, and I did from the last one, and I think on a couple of occasions I definitely put into play what I'd learned.
So you're going to walk away a better player.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about the result in one sit and go.
I think... they're calling me a loser. I think back at the beginning, I would have folded the 3s, and now I know that that situation I have to push.
Yeah, I
So
thought that
that's
was
something
great. I
I've
praised you
learned,
in quite a few of your plays. I thought you picked the moments a lot of times. I was just disappointed you missed a key one.
couple, yeah.
Well, a key one, but it was a very big one, that one you missed.
I missed a big one in the last one as well, I think.
Yeah. But overall, if you learn each time you play a tourney, surely that's going to be good. You're not talking?
I think that you should play in one next time we're on.
When you're on, so you
Can't
can
say
really,
that.
and then you go really pull me to pieces.
Well, I'm going to win the tournament on Monday, I've decided. Right, I have an email here from Martin, aka Stunters. Hi, Stunters. He says, "Hi, chaps. Nice to see Michelle pays attention to the forum and is wearing black again. It's not funny, because the only reason you told me to wear black is because you said I'd put on weight and it was podgy. Well, I've actually lost weight as it goes.
They say black makes you look thinner.
Yep. I'm not. Look, there's nothing of me.
She's not. She's trying to put weight on.
He says, but it's obviously not the only good advice you've been taking. Well played lately, and sorry for being cheeky about your maths. I'm sure you really knew you had 3 big blinds left, or was it 2? And stop pinching my seat, or I'll pinch yours. Thanks for all the good advice lately. Well, Santos, it's not my fault you've not got a quick enough finger. Got to get clicking.
The mind boggles.
Don't play me at the clicking game. I'm going to win every time.
Whoa.
Thanks, Santos. Glad you learnt loads. Hopefully play you again next time I'm on.
Good.
That's it for this part.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. If you've got any questions or comments, then we've got some emails. We'll do them after the break. If you do have anything you'd like to ask, text 84222. or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. There they are on your screen.
Yeah, do so because we love to hear from you. You're a great crowd out there. It's a pleasure to work for you all. And
Look at you.
talk with us. No, they are. I think it's great. So please get in touch.
We're going on a break. James and I will still be here in about 5 minutes when you come back. So we'll see you then. Good evening, good morning even. Welcome back to Poker Night Live. We're watching Texas Hold'em tonight. Cash games, tournaments, multi-table tournaments. We've even been playing in them. Well, I have. Come forth. We won't dwell on that. Got some emails. We're going to hopefully be seeing our multi-table tournament as well tonight, which is good, so we can see the final table of that. First of all, got an email here from Damo, who's the Crimson King. He says, "Hi, Michelle and James. Lately I've been getting knocked out for multi-table tournaments with queens. The latest example was at the middle stages of a multi-table tournament. Blinds were 400, 800 and my stack was 12k. I raised 2,000 under the gun with queens and the player in the big blind, new to the table, re-raised me all in. I called, he showed aces, I lost. Was my thinking that he could have made his move with ace king, ace queen, jacks or 10-10 optimistic? And should this have been an automatic fold for me in this situation? I just find it hard to lay down a good hand to a re-raise. Any help on this matter would be fully appreciated." It is difficult with queens.
Yes, queens are a difficult hand. The problem is that I think you've basically half answered the question yourself. You've at the stage of the tournament there where people aren't probably making bluff re-raises, that's for sure. So you've made it 2,000. You possibly, I think the blinds were 400, 800. You could possibly have made it just a little bit, a tad more there, so you were really asking a proper question, so you knew even more where you were. He's come over the top all in. So what has he got? Well, you've now got to think in your mind he's got either ace, king, kings, aces. I don't know what else he's going to do this with. Is he going to come over the top with ace, queen? I'm not sure that he is. It's a very tough decision because although there's more ways of him making ace-king, not everyone would even do the raise in that stage of the tournament with ace-king. So I think you can actually put it down. You still have enough chips to play. You'd still have 10,000 chips left. I think actually you could just about put it down. But it's very, very tough. If you know any information about the player, that would help your decision as well. If he was a very loose player who'd be making a lot of moves, well then you could say, okay, I'm going to have to take my risk. But basically, those chips that you save would be better in a situation where, again, you could be using them betting with, having fold equity with, rather than having to make a guessing game and probably get in a, on average, sort of 50-50-ish situation. Either you're going to be 4-1 against the two big pairs, or you're going to be a small favourite against the ace-kings. As a package, when you look at it in the cold light of day, it doesn't look quite as tempting.
Thank you, James. I've got an email here from Jim Jr. Hello, Jim. It says, "Hi, guys. Hope you're well. I'm enjoying the show as usual. Good work." Well, thank you. It says, "My question is continuation bets. I tend to play low-limit hold'em games, or more recently, single-table sit-and-goes. I do reasonably well in sit-and-goes, often finishing in the money, but I feel a weak part of my game is continuation bets. Can you help, please? My problem seems to be when I have a potentially good starting hand, such as ace-king under the gun. If I put in a raise pre-flop but don't hit the flop, then I seem to have trouble. If it doesn't seem to be too much of a dangerous flop, then I like to put in a bet to see where I am. The problem is that my opponents often call. I guess they're thinking that I raised pre-flop but haven't hit. Then when the turn comes, I don't like to show weakness and check, so I may put in another bet. Often I will receive another caller. I realise it's different for different situations, but I would appreciate your thoughts on when to continue betting, or accept that a check and a fold to a bet will ultimately save you chips. Please can you give some suggestions, as I seem to be having trouble finding the right balance." Good question, I like that.
Yeah, good question. Very, very good question. Right, with continuation bets. One, how many opponents are there? If there's one opponent, well, it's often quite a good time to pop in the continuation bet after you have raised pre-flop. As soon as there are two or more, think carefully. 3 people, forget it. Forget about the continuation bet. You've made the pre-flop raise, you've missed the flop, unlucky. Be prepared to get away from this hand, because you don't know where you are. Someone else might have hit the flop. It's a problem. So one person, yes. Two people, sometimes. Three people, no. Anyway, let's say it's against less people. You've made the continuation bet. They've called. You still haven't hit. Leave it. Just check now. You've done enough. You've tried. It hasn't worked. Don't lose more chips when in fact you're probably the underdog. What did they call with? Is there a possible draw on there? If for sure you thought they were on a draw, well, maybe then your ace-king, say, for example, could be winning. But generally, don't throw good money after bad. The other point is, with continuation bets, don't do them every time, because then people will know exactly what you're up to. So you've got to sort of mix it up. Don't make it sort of standard to do it every time. Maybe do it 70% of the time. I hope that helps.
James.
Michelle.
Guess who's texted us in? Emailed us in?
I don't know, but my heart is starting to flutter a little bit.
It's Flirty Liz.
Is it? Wow.
Hi,
What
Liz.
better way to perk my morning up?
Now, for those of you that don't know, James and Liz are a bit of an item.
The gallery were getting worried when I started that phrase, I think. Sorry, yes?
Yes, James and Liz are a bit of an item. As in, you haven't actually seen each other yet. Well,
No,
she's seen you.
It's a bit actually, Michelle, it's a bit one-sided at the moment, because Liz has seen me, but I haven't seen her.
Liz, send us in a picture. Come on, girlie, send us in a picture. It's only fair. Right, we'll audition her for you.
It's like
Liz, I think you're lovely, and James does too. But let me read your email out first. He says, "Hi Michelle and James, great show as always, and well done in your tourney, Michelle. You fought valiantly and bravely, I thought, with the threes." Well, thanks, Liz. Because I nearly didn't as well. She says, "My only poker experience has been at cash games, but tonight I played my first ever sit and go, $2, and had a great time. It was hugely different because I'm not used to the increasing blinds and the reducing number of players. I was fifth. However, hopefully I put into practice some of the things I've learned from PNL and James. I lost most of my chips going all in with Queen Jacks on the button. Snakey was way ahead with 3,300 chips. Three of us were on about 1,200 chips, and Will 2574 had about 600. Blinds had just gone up to 163.20 when the two early position players folded to me. I pushed all in with Queen Jack. Suited. Was this a mistake? The big blind folded, but Will in the small blind probably had no choice except to call for his remaining 300 chips. He had 9-8 offsuit, and the flop came 5-6-7 rainbow.
Oh.
Oof. I think I was just unlucky. I think so too, Liz. But you and James might be able to tell me different. The following hand, I had King 10 offsuit in the cutoff and only 270 chips. So I pushed all in again and lost to King Jack offsuit in the big blind. Snakey went on to win the tourney. Come on, the girls. 2 right. Do you think... Sorry, should I go back to cash games where I am winning, albeit small amounts, or do you think I might have a future as a tourney player? It was definitely more fun. James, it's been great to see you on Poker Night Live so many times this week. Good luck in Sweden. Love from Flirty Liz.
Did you send a kiss?
Yep. Oh, no, she didn't.
Oh.
No kisses, James.
Because the other night she sent 4 kisses.
Oh, Liz, what's going on?
Not one.
Oh, yeah, like, come on, girls, because Snakey's a girl. You got Mrs. Bandit, you got Liz.
Yeah, it's
I'll
a
have to
good...
try and get into a tourney with you, and we can take on them
be on the Poker Night Live Ladies Tourney. Liz, it sounds to me that your start of your tournament career has gone very, very well, because you recognise the situation... What was that?
Carry on.
You recognise the situation very well, and that was you needed to make a move.
Sorry, carry on.
You needed to make a move, in which you did do. You made a move on the button. You made it with Queen Jack suited because people had folded before you, and perfect. You pushed all in because you had to, because you had very little play left. The extra plus point was that you actually had the person who called you covered in chips. So therefore, even though you lost that pot, you still actually had some chips left. With those ones, you got a King 10, decided you better push with that straight away, right again. Anyway, for a first attempt, I think that was excellent. So I think keep on playing both money games and playing the sit and goes as well. Just keep it at a comfortable price so you can experiment, so you can learn, and I expect to see you doing well in both.
Have you finished now? Flirting?
No, it's
Talk longer
flirty.
on Liz's email than you do on the others, didn't you?
It was only in comparison to the size of the email.
Right, well, Liz, send us a pic, honey. Right, we've got the multi-table tournament to go to, James. Final table. So I think we should go straight over there. Can we? Can we do that? Multi-table tournament? Is it possible?
It looks like it is.
Excellent, and there it is. You right there, James?
I'm fine. Is this the final table? It looks like it is. It is. We've got 7 players left.
Oh, and Kev Steele's in there, I know him. We've got Hoik Balls, Chopper, Kev Steele, One of a Kind, Grey Badger, Facelift, and Rith 78.
And Hoik is a Geordie.
Is he?
And he comes from Wallsend.
Ooh.
And I was chatting to him last night about the Spanish city, which was a fixed fairground. So there you go. You don't know what you missed, Michelle. Nights at the Spanish city were as wild as they could come. The waltzer, the Big Dipper.
Oh, I've got an email here from... I won't do the email until we come back, but he knows you. It's Tony Hawkins, who's Winston Wolfe. And he says, James, if you remember, it's TW from France. We met in the Dominican Republic in February 2004, and my mum and dad say hi.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, I do know him. Actually, if the boys in the back room could save that email for me, I would appreciate it, because I had an email for him which was not working. So I'd love to be able to get in touch with them, because I had a great holiday with the Hawkins family in the Dominican Republic. Had a great time with them, had some lovely dinners with them. So I would like to get in touch with them. So boys in the gallery, could you save that email for me, please? And look at this. Big pot, 82,770.
Wow.
And it's a flush for Grey Badger.
And 2 pair for Hoik.
And poor old Hoik, he had just covered in chips by Grey Badger there. He had the small pair.
He'll be annoyed at end up all in a Grey Badger. And going out, and there's lots of people there with a lot less than he had.
Yes, and I missed a little first bit of that, but he only had a pair of 6s.
And there were 2 8s, so it turned into 2
Yeah, but as it happens, Grey Badger only made his flush on the end there, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, unfortunate for Hoik.
Maybe put him on the draw. Betted large, he called, maybe.
Chupa, who's been having a very good spell recently, very consistent. He's low stack now. He pushes with a Flirty Liz type hand, Queen Jack.
Wow.
Flirty Liz's, of course, was a step up. It was suited. Apparently she likes them suited.
See? He's not only a pretty face, Liz. He's funny as well. He's got the wit and the charm.
You said the pecs as well.
Yes, you do have lovely pecs. You peck them up and down.
Great.
What are your buttocks like? Just for Liz. Pert, he's writing down on a bit of paper.
I never did the word, that was Michelle. I do play tennis though.
So, only suddenly there's 5. Do we know that the winning amounts? Let me get them up.
King 362. One of a kind has got the king. Overtook the ace-queen from Facelift. Blinds 800, 1600. Kev Steele 4-5 off suit. One of a kind, Jack King, Kojak. Ooh, no move. Facelift 5-9. Is he going to make up the blind? Or is he going to do more? Watch this space. Decides not to make up the blind. Rith 78, who we've seen recently as well, been doing quite well. Kev Steele just limps in with 10-9. Grey Badger raises to 4,800. Asking the question from Kev Steele.
It's gone storming into the lead, Grey Badger.
He certainly has. He's using Hoyk's chips. Kev Steele and small blind with 7-10. Contemplating, but no. Puts it down. That'll do for me, says one of a kind. I'm trading this tourney at the moment. I need every chip I can get. Well, he's got a pair of sixes now in the small blind. What's he going to do? Kev Steele on the button. King 10 off suit. Raises it up. 3 times the big blind. 4,800.
What do you think about sixes here? What should they be doing?
Well, time is running out a bit here. Each round is costing 2,400. I don't mind him passing out as long as he's going to be aggressive himself. Because if he calls, he's just got to. It's keyhole surgery. He's got to. If he's against a big pair, he's in trouble. If he's against 2 overcards, he's not likely to be very much in his favour. Whereas by betting, the overall package might be better for him.
So one of a kind here is going to have to be making a move at some point, isn't he?
Yep, he certainly is. But it's not. He still has a bit of play. You know, he's got 10 big blinds. If we look at his M, which is by adding his cost of a round, which is 2,400, and dividing that into his chips, which is 16,560, divided by 2,400, his M is 6.9. So he's still not down to that in the 1-5 bracket of the M, which is the M, which is named after Paul McGreal and used by Dan Harrington in one of his 2 volumes on No Limit Hold'em tournament play.
How many did we start with?
We started with 121.
Wow.
So that was a good result for one of a kind. He's sneaked up a space. He sneaked up a run on the ladder, and he hopes to sneak up higher now. He's got ace-king. He's found a good place for his chips here. He's certainly going to be in a better position here than he would have been by calling with a pair of sixes.
Yeah.
Either he gets the money with no risk, or he's in a situation where he's about a 64% favourite. Much better than being either a 4-1 underdog or possibly a small favourite. And that's what we've got to think about, where our money's going in and what chances we'll have. And although I'm going to go on about it, I'll go on about it more and more. In No Limit Hold'em, there are 2 things. 1, it is much better to be a better than a caller. And number 2, to be a good No Limit Hold'em player, you have to be able to put a hand down.
Don't get married to your cards. It's a very good point, isn't it? And so many people do. Ooh, as one of a kind has now got the aces, getting a few nice hands here.
And very nice. Look at that bet. He wants to play this hand. Unlucky. He didn't get any runner against him, but he didn't overbet it. He realised he's not going to get many hands like that now for the remaining part of this tournament, and he tried to get an opponent. He said, this is a good place to get some chips. And he was unlucky he didn't get paid off. But he's in better shape than he was. Kev Steele on the button. I think we'll see something from him.
It's a shame for him that the button's the chip leader.
That the big blind's a chip leader, you mean?
Sorry, that's what I meant, yeah.
He's made it 5,000. Oh, my goodness. And Grey Badger's come over the top. But Kev Steele's not been frightened, and there's 17,000 in the middle. Grey Badger here has got hit the 3. He's putting Kev Steele all in. Kev Steele's got to make the decision. Is he going to be frightened of the ace and the 10? Oh dear, what a play by Grey Badger here.
Yeah. I would have done the same as Kev there. It's very difficult to call with the 8 and the 10.
It certainly was. And I think that when Kev Steele decided to call the raise by Grey Badger,
maybe he should have pushed.
That was where his decision had to be taken. If he was calling the raise with a pair of 7s, he's never going to like the flop from now on anyway.
No.
So if he's going to call, that shouldn't have been an option. He had 2 options. He should have folded, or he should have set himself in, because he didn't have enough chips to be making decisions with. He only had 14,000 left. So either he should have re-raised back and said, go on then, or he should have passed.
I mean, if a flop had even come a good flop, something like 2, 5, 6, how often is that going to happen?
The only
Not
flop
enough.
he's going to like is a 7,
yeah.
really. So that's what he should have done. He should have either re-raised all in and said, right, you can't outplay me, or I pass. But what's happened is he's left the door open to be outplayed. And if you're outplayed and you've passed a hand which was winning, that's a blunder. That's a nightmare. That's a horror. And he left the door open for that to happen.
And now he's in the wars.
Hats off to Grey Badger for having the guts to do this, but he was chip leader, so having more chips, you can be more adventurous. But can you see the point we're making there?
Yeah.
So there's another great point, actually,
Why
for
call
people.
a raise if you know you're going to
When you don't have so many
miss?
chips, listen, your calling option's gone out the window. Either raise and set yourself or pass. You don't have a chance. It's like limping in. It's the same sort of thing as limping in. If you don't have enough chips to limp in, don't do it. If you don't have enough chips just to call, don't do it. Either set yourself in or get yourself out. Halfway measures are generally not right.
You're making some very good points tonight, James.
Thank you, Mish. Do you think it's helping you?
Well, it already has done.
Really? Well, if you can walk away after having done so many shows and feel, hang on, I've really learned stuff, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, I've only been playing 6, 7 months,
Yeah.
so I've got...
But you've done quite a few shows now, so therefore, further on in your career now, if suddenly you say, oh yeah, I'm walking away tonight, I think, oh, I've got 2 or 3 things which I think really are new in a way to me. That's good, isn't it?
It's great as well, because as I play in the week, I have questions that I can ask when I get here.
Yes.
I have the best tuition in the world. I want to play in a big live tourney.
But you've still got to be friends with us if you get famous.
What, as a poker player?
Yeah.
Can you imagine it, me and Phil Helmuth?
If you become a top lady player, you can't just suddenly say, you know, and turn your nose up one day like
Do you
that.
reckon I've got potential then, James?
Well, you've got, you know, you're young, you're keen. Listen, there's great potential out there for a good lady player.
I'm going to keep reading my books, keep learning, keep playing. I'm actually going to start playing in the TV multi-table tournament every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start playing this league on a Monday night, I think.
But also what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to do some more reading, and you're also going to need to do some more playing in your private time.
Yeah.
You've got to set so much time to aim to play so much in a week in your own time, because you've got to get that experience.
Yeah.
And that
I'd like to start, I
experience-
need to play a bit more live as well, I think, which is nice.
Yes, but you also want to play on the internet because you catch up, you get experience so much quicker. You can learn so much quicker because the game's quicker, etc., etc. You don't have to travel there.
Do I need to be flitting between 3 still, cash games, tourneys and multi-table tourneys?
Well, yes, I think for you can gain experience on all that. Also, in some of the money games, there's room for more play. Because you can have more decisions and you can play flop. There's more decisions. You're not fighting against, you know, the latter stages of some of these sit and goes doesn't do you so much good because therefore a lot of the play is diminished and you just got to be finding where to go all in.
Yeah.
But in a money game, you've got to be really thinking and asking yourself questions all the time. So I think for you, all the different types of game will help you.
I've got quite a lot of notes. One really saved me the other day, actually. I had something about a guy who will chase with big bets.
All right.
And it really helped me because he put in a huge bet and I thought, he's definitely chasing. Didn't bet, even though I had 2 pair. And I definitely made the right decision because somebody else called and he did, and he hit the flush and took it down. And your notes do really come in handy.
Of course.
Yeah, it's quite nice. You can see where you've played people before.
Kev Steele, Orlinski, 9-7. What's Facelift going to do?
Four left. Who will win? You decide. Not really. Well, Grey Badger still well ahead here. King 9 Ace Jack. Nobody's hit. I think the aggressor will take it here. And as Grey Badger has the chips, it's going to be him. Ace 5, pair of 3s. What does one of a kind do with these pair? Good enough to stick it in or have a little limp maybe?
Which was this one?
3s. Now there's been a raise, so he folds to the raise. Ooh, and then a... Ooh.
Grey Badger using his chip stack. And he's hit his ace. Kev Steele hit the 9, but Grey Badger pinged the top pair. And we're down to 3. And this might not be to the penny, I'm afraid to say, but this is a very good guide of what they're getting in their prize money. Third prize is going to get $186. Second is going to get $248. And first is going to get $372. There were 121 players to start with. We're down to our last 3. Third place at the moment is One of a Kind. Second place is Facelift. And the leader at the moment is Grey Badger.
James has got another message from Flirty Liz. Now who's happy? Now he's got a big smile on his face. Hey?
Just watching the play. Grey Badger.
We really are in the gaming and dating section.
Oh, very good, Michelle. Grey Badger makes it 13,000.
Oh, she's a Yorkshire lass. So she'll give as good as she gets. In the poker world, James.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she seems a bright lady. From the way she writes her emails.
Oh, she has here. She's put, here are the missing kisses. And I promise a photo by the time you return from Sweden.
Oh.
Love from Flirty Liz.
From Yorkshire.
She loves you.
How many kisses? That's the important bit.
5.
5?
Kisses.
I've got one up last time. That's nice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Pair of 4s for One of a Kind.
Time to push. It's made hand. So.
Yeah. He needs to. The blinds are 1,000, 2,000. We divide his 16 by 3,000. We see He's near that M of 5. And no half-hearted bets required there. He wants to give himself, he's quite happy to take down the blinds there and hope to find an even better hand. 9 Jack, Grey Badger.
Well, nothing much going on. Again, the aggressor takes it. What a load of rubbish.
Yes, motley bunch of cards there. And look at that, the 6-2 takes down 3,000. What a sweet feeling that is. When you have absolutely garbage and you take down the blinds. Right, one of a kind. It's got Ace-7 in the big blind, and Grey Badger is raised up to Ace-10. One of a kind. It's got a decision. He might actually make a push here. We hope for his sake he doesn't. He doesn't. Well done. He got away from it. He listened. He thought, well, Grey Badger, I know he's got a lot of chips, but I'll wait for something better if I can. I'd rather be a better than a caller. And look at this. This is far better. That's what you want to be whacking your money in with.
Yeah.
He's got a made hand. He's asking the question. And look at this. Even if they pass, this is quite nice. He picks up 6,000.
Couple of rag aces.
But we can see that he'd quite like them to call because one of the aces is gone and they've only got one overcard. This would be a sweet situation for a pair of queens. Fantastic.
Trying to decide what to do and he calls.
Oh, my goodness. Trip queens.
And
oh, and
the
an
ace
ace there
comes.
just to add insult to injury for Facelift. And one of a kind has now really got back in the game.
It's evens now to face.
There we go. Pair of queens. And one of a kind was rewarded for putting down that Ace-7 because he thought, I don't like this. He was raised and basically he decided he didn't know where he was and he thought to himself, hopefully he'd be better off waiting to be a better than a caller. And maybe get something better or maybe get a hand where he could make them pass. Give them the problem, ask them the question. And I think that was a great demonstration, which backs up my saying you've got to be able to put a hand down in no limit hold'em.
Not much going on here.
And the follow-up is don't worry when you put down a hand which is better than your opponent's, because to be able to pass correctly in no limit hold'em, you will be passing the winning hand sometimes. Don't fret about it. You can't get it 100% right. But if you pass a winning hand, it certainly means that you'll be passing lots of losing hands. And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
But people get too sensitive in case, oh, look, I was winning, I shouldn't have passed. You can't get it exactly right.
Oh, this is going to get, I was going to say, if a heart comes, it would be
Yeah,
very
we give
interesting.
great for one of a kind because he had the King of Hearts and Facelift had the Queen of Hearts. It would have
Knowing
been a
that
battle.
only the king would be beating.
But he's got an 8 in his hand as well, which gives him a pair of 8s. And the
Second
Facelift
pair.
tried belatedly to win it, but with his pair of 6s. But of course, the pair of 8 was good enough.
Blitz. Okay, will it get some action though?
He just made it 4. He's trying to get action, so good play from Facelift.
Ooh.
And one of a kind hit the 7. Facelift's checked, give him a chance, but one of a kind didn't fall for it, didn't bet. He's checked again, and he still didn't bet one of a kind. Facelift's thinking, how can I get money here? He still tried again, and still one of a kind refused to try and steal it or bet or anything. Unlucky for Facelift, had a good, obviously the best hand, tried to be as tricky as he could to get some action, but it wasn't to be. Right, 5-7 Queen, which has given Grey Badger the bottom pair, which as we can see is enough to be beating the pair of 3s, albeit a made hand, easily overtaken by any of the cards on the flop. And Grey Badger seems to know where he is. He liked that Queen because he then didn't believe that one of a kind had one. Gave him more confidence with his 5 and he bet out and took it down. He was winning on merit anyway. Grey Badger, we'll see a move from him here, that's for sure. He's sitting there with 106,000. He's made it 10,000. He's pressurising the lower stacks. Facelift has to put 8,000. Too much, especially with a hand like that. Doesn't want to know. Queen Jack.
It's a free ride.
Looking at
Bob
his hand on the
Hoskins
button there.
once said, it's good to talk.
Grey Badger carrying on his relentless pressurising of the lower stacks.
Yeah, well, he's in a lovely position, isn't he?
10,000 with his ace-4 there. Again, takes down the blinds. Taking that money out of the game, basically, because he's got a big stack. Less for Facelift and One of a Kind to fight over. One of a Kind who's come well back into the game, though. He's got it up to 40,000 now from very low. Facelift makes a move, 4,000. He's up against Grey Badger, doesn't want to know with the 2-Jack, doesn't like that one. So he is being selective. Again, Grey Badger is showing that he prefers to be a better than a caller. Quite prepared to pass some hands, but well prepared to bet with others. And he might bet with the king here. He has done. I sensed he was going to. But look at this. He's been asked a big question here from Facelift, who's re-raised with Queen 9 suited. And he got the better hand to pass. Grey Badger didn't like it anymore. Hadn't seen Facelift do too many plays like that. Respected the play. Good play from Facelift. The re-raise there, obviously even stronger than a raise. And now Grey Badger relentless, and it's happened again. I'll tell you what, he might call this, because he thinks you're not going to do that to me every time.
It's only going to cost him 800 more.
No, I think he's got more than that. I think it's...
oh, yeah, of course it was. We missed the 2. It's about 28, isn't it? I think,
yeah.
Or 38.
I think we've got a missing number.
Oh, he calls it.
Well, I felt he would just out of frustration, but look at that. It's gone in his favour. He's hit the 10 on the river. Ace-Jack against King 10. And there came that magical 10, which takes us to 2 players. Grey Badger against One of a Kind. We just lost Facelift. And it's Grey Badger there with a big lead. About a 4-to-1 ratio in chips. He's got a good hand there, King Queen, which is a good hand heads up. He's made it 13,000. We're going to see a lot of pressurising here from Grey Badger, I think. And he takes down another one. Pair of 10s for One of a Kind. That's a bit more like it, he says. But unluckily for him, Grey Badger hasn't got anything. And he doesn't even make up the blind. How horrible is that? When you haven't had a hand, you get one and your opponent doesn't even make up the small blind.
It's not what you want.
It's not fair, is it, Michelle?
No, now he has the 7s.
Does it niggle you when that happens?
It does.
Okay.
Very much so.
Pair of
Always
7s.
happens when I've got kings.
Here we go. Oh, well, there could be a bit of action here. Grey Badger's raised it up. King Queen, heads up. Yes, I thought there might be. He's gone all in. He's gone all in. Ace 10's ahead. And he's ahead. He's won it if nothing happened. And nothing's happened. We have a winner.
There you go.
I think it's actually a winner on merit. He's handled the big stack really well. I think he continually pressurised people. I gave him really good marks, Grey Badger. But well done, One of a Kind. You did some good passes. You found a way to get back in it as well, and I think you deserve to get into second at least. So, good play from both of you, and well done.
Very exciting. I've got to do some emails. Got an email from Fudge. Oh, I could eat some fudge right now. He says, hi Chip and 007. I've just played my first $10 TV table tourney. I come second to the infamous Hoofy. I played using all the tips of Poker Night Live, so thanks for them. Oh, brilliant fudge.
That was very good.
So you came second to Hoof. He was better than me against Hoof. I think I went out. Oh no, actually, I think he went out. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, it's all good, isn't it?
It is, that's great.
Second.
And he used our advice, he came second. Not bad at all.
This is the email from Tony Hawkins, who says
All
that
right.
he knows you from the Dominican Republic
Yes.
and his mum and dad say hi.
Oh, brilliant. I had a really great time with them. I had some great dinners and we had a smashing time in the Dominican Republic. I
Sounds
played
nice.
some shuffleboard
Oh yeah?
and table tennis.
Excellent. Well, he does have a question. He says, Winston Wolf here. I finished 4th in tonight's multi-table tournament. Gutted. I'm still pleased to have finished 4th out of over 600 players, and the first and second prizes would have been any good for me as I'm under 21 and couldn't have played in the States. Anyway, I feel I had to move in with ace-10 with the blinds at these levels, and because I was short-stacked. Unlucky for me, my opponent's king-jack hit and I was out. I'll definitely be back though, so watch this space and watch out for Winston Wolf.
Definitely will watch out for Winston Wolf. I'm actually going to get your email address and get in touch with you.
Excellent. And we have a short one from Steve, and he says, hi, I'll keep it short and sweet. What is equity?
Equity. Equity. Where are we on? Equity is basically value, basically. We're talking about what equity do we have in a pot. We're looking at what equity do we have in the tournament. So basically, we'll say, give an example, we'll say when there are 5 players in the tournament, when a player gets knocked out, your equity increases, which means your expected return of prize money increases because a player has been knocked out. Your equity has risen. So now, regarding your equity will be decided by how many chips you've got and basically what sort of percentage chance you've got of reaching either 4th, 3rd, 2nd or 1st from that situation. And that will be your equity in that tournament.
Thank you, James. And we're actually just going to quickly go to a cash game for the last 5-10 minutes of the show.
Okay, that sounds a good idea.
Here we go.
It's quite a nice name, isn't it? Winston Wolf. Do you like,
Winston Wolf.
do you like that?
Yeah, it's good.
What a waster.
Supergram.
Aunt Sally.
I have an Aunt Sally.
Have you?
And Uncle Michael, and there's an Uncle Michael that plays in here as well.
What? Could this be your Aunt Sally playing or not?
I don't think so.
Quite like Buzz Lighthead as well, actually. There's something got a good...
Yeah.
No?
No, I like that too.
Yeah.
I like False God Anubis.
Which one?
He's not on here, but one of the players' names I like is False God Anubis.
All right.
Because I love SG1, you see. And there's also an SG1. All happening in
Mr.
the world
Razzie.
of sci-fi.
Oh, Big O. Do you like that one?
Which one?
Oh, Big O.
Oh, big O. Yeah, it's good.
Super Grand, Jack 2. Snap it, 8-6 on the button. Nope, doesn't want to know. Aunt Sally.
25 cent, 50 cent. I haven't quite worked my way up to this one yet. I'm on the 15 cent, 25 cent. But hopefully, one day, I shall move up. My dad's on 25.50, but he plays it 5-handed.
Super Grand there with a pair of 10s. Raised to 250. Snap it, ace 8. And we're down to ranges there. Oh, calls with 6-10.
Well, the King Queen does look a bit scary for 10-10, so I suppose just needs to ask the question and find out if Rangers does have anything. Soon find out if it gets re-raised.
Super Grand just calls with Queen King. And has ended up in an unraised pot.
Oh, so what is it? It is the ruler. King Queen, ruler of the unraised
And as it happens, King 5 has put a little bet in there because he's got the 5. Super Grand passes. There's enough there to pass, but was actually behind.
I've got a pair of 7s.
But as we see there, if there had been a king or queen on the flop, the king queen would have been ruling.
Yep, because it was limped.
Snap it. Won't play that one. They passed in a flash. What a waster. Makes up the small blind. Ace, king, 4.
Oh, so we can see the 7s are good. He decides just to check it. And Razzie will take this down, probably.
Razzie.
Well done.
Mr. Razzie.
Ace King for Super Gran on the big blind. That's good. That's always nice. No, it's nicer on the dealer button.
Taking his... Oops, the nail passed in a flash again. What a waster. Doesn't like that much on the button. Jack 3 makes up the small blind. Super Gran, I think he's going to ask for a little bit of an escalation in the price. He does so. Makes it $3. A bit too expensive for Rangers, that one. Super Gran takes down the blinds.
Nice pair of jacks there for Orpe go.
Oh, big O. $2. Not much out there. Jack 2. Ace King for Super Gran again. How much is she going to make it? It's 3 again. She's a creature of habit, is our Super Gran.
Right, well, we're going to have to leave it after
Snap
this
it.
hand.
Passes, and Super Gran this time wins $1.25 with her Ace King.
Better than nothing. And we've had an email from Shelby.
Okay.
Hi both, great show. I have a question for James. I played a very hard multi-table qualifier and won a seat in the final stage. When it was about to start, it was cancelled. Instead of my chance to win a seat to Vegas, I just got the equivalent of the buy-in instead. Is this not extremely unfair, as I will now have to replay replay the multi-table? Is this common? Why could they not reschedule me for another qualifier, i.e. round 2? What do you think? Does sound a bit unfair, doesn't it?
That does sound a bit unusual, actually. I can't quite understand. He won the qualifier.
He won a seat in the qualifier to the final stage. It
was cancelled. Very, very unusual. I think I would contact the site and just certainly contact them, explain that you're not very happy about this, and if you can ask for some reasons from them why on earth it happened. I think at least you certainly merit having it made clear to you, but very rare that, I must admit.
Yeah.
I would contact them though. It can only be worthwhile for you to do so.
There you go, Shelby. I'll be seeing you Monday night in the multi-table tournament. James, it's been a very interesting night, I think.
I think it's been a great night, and what's pleased me more than anything is because you say you definitely have learned some stuff tonight.
Well, I think you even saw some of the things that I changed a bit in the tournament
definitely.
just from last time.
And I think the way you're thinking about it, I think you've taken another step further on. So I'm pleased with you. Overall, I'm pleased with you.
Yay.
So, and don't worry because I saw a couple of things I didn't like.
Well, no, but you have to pick up on them, otherwise I won't learn from
exactly.
it.
Exactly. So. And that's it. So just walk away saying, yeah, but I won't do that again. So I'm happy.
Excellent. Well, we're all happy, but we're sad because it's the end of the night. But we will be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for plenty more sit and goes, cash, and tournaments. Multi-table tournaments. James, it's been a pleasure.
Okay, pleasure
but from
too.
us, it is good night and goodbye.